Hello, denizens of the internet. This is not the full film for Belle. This is a podcast review of the movie and its English dub. If you wish to experience the movie for yourself, the movie is available on streaming via HBO Max and on home video through G-Kids. Please support the official release.
What's up, bros, gals, and non-binary pals? I am Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of ghost buns, and thank you for coming to our grand finale of Summer at the Movies VTuber Concert. Looks like we have guests from all around the world here tonight. Our main headliner will be here in just a minute, so keep your virtual hats on. As always, before you begin, the following concert may contain language and subject matter not suitable for younger accounts. Listener discretion is advised. Also, there will definitely be spoilers for the movie Belle, the entire filmography of Mamoru Hosoda, and any other anime or video game being discussed. Be forewarned if you haven't seen this cinematic achievement yet. And of course, the words expressed by our performers are the opinions of the individuals themselves and do not necessarily reflect the Dub Talk virtual world as a whole. Alright, let's see some hearts and likes in the chat and finally begin the event to the summer. Everyone give it up for the Dub Talk performers!
Welcome to my mysterious castle, ladies and gentlemen. I see you have gone far off the beaten path and have perhaps lost your horse and need a place to stay for the night. But that is perfect, because we will give you a place to stay, because you have wandered into the Dub Talk Castle. Yes, we have been keeping track of this place for millennia as we deal with the curse of having to deal with anime dubs, both good and bad and in between, throughout the ages. And one day, if we find the one person who can love us, and we can love them in return, we will be free from our prison and we can go back to living normal lives. Some of us will not be free from the dungeon, though.
That's you.
That is me. I'm stuck in here forever. But that's okay, because you have chosen to join us for the grand finale of Summer at the Movies! Yay!
Woo! You think any of those people ever got turned into a butt plug in one of those Beauty and the Beast films?
Well, it is French, so more than likely.
Oui.
At the very least, one of them got turned into a French tickler.
I shall stick this plug up on my bum.
Your derriere.
Is that the dirty version that you were thinking of, Gigi?
No. I'm not even going to talk about it on this podcast. That's how bad it is.
No, people, there's apparently a Beauty and the Beast adaptation that is so wrong that it even squeaked Gigi out. That's how bad it is. We'll talk about that in a future episode.
It's French.
Well, not like this movie. But anyways, yes, so we've come to the finale of Summer at the Movies. We've gone through Girls with Tanks, we've gone through Weather Girls, we've gone through Girls in Wheelchairs, so it only seems fitting that we end this whole thing off.
We're not going to talk about the girl who got turned into a cat?
And we also had a movie starring Anne Hathaway turning into a cat. It was a good summer, I think, overall.
Also, Fujiko Mine was here, too.
Yes, just the girl in
Good
general.
girl.
She was.
Good girl.
But we are here to talk about
and
the
Android
VTuber girl. We are here to talk about the, I want to say legendary because it made quite a splash when it came out last year, the latest feature film from director Mamoru Hosoda, Belle! That's a fine name and all, but I personally prefer the original title. The original Japanese title was The Dragon and the Freckled Princess, which I have to assume... I have to assume that was actually the shortened version. I'm sure that if it was like a real Japanese title, it would be something like, I couldn't deal with the crushing death of my mother, so I became a virtual singer in a virtual reality.
Wow.
Sounds like an isekai light novel to me.
This is
It kind of
this
is.
is better than any isekai light novel, though.
This is true.
This is
it's definitely got more
actual
going for
art.
it. But you won't deny it's got quite a bit of the escapist fantasy going on in it.
I mean, yes, and I will get to why that's amazing.
So, speaking of talking about that, I should probably introduce my cohorts in this castle. Please say hello to my clock, Megan.
Why do I have to be the clock?
Yeah, why does Megan have to be the clock?
She's reliable.
Thanks, Jenny. I am not the Cogsworth in this household, thank you.
No,
I am
I'll
the
tell-
Mrs. Potts. How fucking
I'll tell
dare
you.
you?
No, I'll tell you why. Because in the Disney version, the clock was voiced by David Ogden Stiers, and I know that Megan's a fan of his, so I'm gonna...
My boyfriend is a fan of David Ogden Stiers. I didn't know who he was a year ago.
But now you know him.
Also, B,
Now you know
if
who
you're
he is.
going to go by people who I am a fan of who are voices in the Disney movie, how are you talking to the person from New York whose family religiously watches Law and Order and not give me Lumiere? You piece of shit! I'm
You people can-
offended! My
You can
aunt,
say-
my aunt helped on that show!
You can see why I am cursed here, because I have upset Megan, and I deserve to be cursed, absolutely.
Jenny, tell him 10,000 Years Dungeon!
10,000 Years Dungeon. Well, while I'm down there, I can at least enjoy the light given off from my candelabra. Gigi!
Oh, je m'appelle Gigi. Comment allez-vous,
See, Gigi
mes amis?
See, Gigi would actually be the Mrs. Potts because she has the pipes to handle Angela Lansbury.
When I was in, remember when they had that bell thing at Disney World?
Oh, yeah.
I was the wardrobe.
Did they pick you to
Let's-
be the wardrobe, or did you volunteer?
They picked me for the wardrobe because I can sing really loud and really high.
Good.
But that's a compliment, because, who was it? Who played the wardrobe? I had it written down
It's
in a
not fucking
previous
Angela
episode.
Lansbury.
No,
In
it's...
the Christmas movie, it was, oh god, the girl who was in Private Practice, who was also in Ragtime on Broadway. She's
No.
very famous.
Okay, no, but in the original movie, it's Joanne Worley, who's like a famous 70s comedian and like stand-up improv actress. So
That works for me.
That's a compliment right there. I mean, I was going to say I'm I'm going to be the Mrs. Potts. I'll be Noah Clue for the night. But clearly I am the cursed one down in the dungeon 10,000 years, because I don't know how to cast people in this podcast.
No offense, Noah. I love you very dearly. You're not hairy enough to be the Beast.
Noah would be the dad, like Belle's dad.
Aww!
He's gone stark raving mad!
That's even worse.
I can only see that gif.
Jennifer, Gigi just said I should be the dad from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, so we're gonna cast the rest of Dub Talk as Beauty and the Beast characters. Who gets to be the Beast? Who's hairy enough to be the Beast, and is it Andrew?
Can we all say Andrew?
Yeah.
Hardy, or is it going to be Andrew?
No, Andrew's the Beast. Steph is...
He is loud enough to be the Beast.
Steph is definitely Belle.
So Hardy gets to be Gaston. I'm sorry, but because every last inch of him is covered in hair.
Jamal gets to be LeFou. Jet is definitely Cogsworth.
That would be more in line.
Jet would
Does
be
that mean-
Cogsworth. Gigi is definitely the Mrs. Potts. I'd be the fucking wardrobe.
How do you feel
Who's-
about Rose?
Patrick would probably
What's-
be Lumiere.
That
Oh my
would
God,
be funny.
oh my God. Does this mean that Amon gets to be Tim Curry?
Who is...
Yes, from the Christmas movie.
Does he
No!
get to be the organ from the Christmas movie?
No!
Yes.
We're not counting
Well,
that.
then-
We're counting the original film.
Okay, so then Amon would be...
Amon gets to be Belle's horse.
At least make him the dog or something.
There was a dog?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little footstool dog.
Little Ottoman dog.
Oh my-
who-
What about Chip? Who's going to be my kid?
Oh my god, can Amon be
that's-
Chip?
Yes. My son.
Lack can be the
I feel like-
footstool dog.
That-
Who would be, who's gonna... Zenith can be all three girls who are hitting on Gaston at once.
Perfect.
No,
That's
no.
Perfect.
No, Zen's got to be the Feather Duster.
Oh yeah, Jackson can be all three girls hitting on Gaston at once.
This is awful.
But then we got to put Lack in there also.
Lex the dog.
Oh, Lex the dog. Okay.
And then
And Scene.
Wait, we didn't get. Who did you put as Roots?
Roots is Lumiere.
Lumiere.
Oh, he's Lumiere.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
him and Jet have perfect banter with each other.
There you go. I missed that one. I was too busy laughing at turning Jackson into the three girls.
Jackson's three women hitting on Gaston.
Well, anyways, sorry, we got way off track here, but now that we got all the Disney stands in the audience, I guess we should tell them what
That's
this
this for you,
adaptation
Beth.
is. So yeah, this is another. This film by Mamoru Hosoda is technically an adaptation of Beauty and the Beast
In the
It's
loosest
kind of
sense possible.
it's a mix of a lot of different ideas. This guy clearly had a lot of story ideas that he wanted to blend together here. So,
And I feel like Noah and I are going to get into a word-based fist fight over the quality of this film.
yes, we are absolutely. I will not win that fight, but I'll be happy to go down swinging. We're going down in another round, and Sugar, we're going down swinging.
Okay, Fall
Okay,
Out
Pete
Boy.
Wentz, keep talking.
So, would you two, because I know you haven't seen it yet, would you like to know the plot of Belle? By any
I've
chance?
seen this movie 3 times.
Same.
So I don't need to give you a plot description?
No, but
All right,
the
You
well,
might want to
audience
give our
might like
listeners
it.
one.
for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, let me tell you what it's about. So it's about a teenage girl named Suzu, who unfortunately her mother passed away when she was younger, which that experience has kind of traumatized her. So she's grown up to be a bit of a more hushed, reserved individual who can't really get her emotions out. However, she finds the strength to get her abilities out, particularly her love for singing and music, in the world of Oz. I mean, the digital world. I mean, Facebook. No.
Oh my
no,
god,
it's called-
Noah, just say you. It's you.
It's called. Okay, this is like the third time Hosoda's done a virtual world, but yes, this one is called.
Yeah, and how many
You.
times has Shinkai done a love story? Get on with it.
It's just the letter U. And in this virtual world, basically your personality, your body, everything is able to be moved into the world. It's like a mix of VTuber virtual reality and complete augmented, all your senses are connected to it. But long story short, Belle, Suzu's counterpart in the world of You, Belle becomes an internet sensation and a singing star, but her singing career is kind of abruptly stopped by the encounter with another individual, the Beast, or the Dragon, who is a troubled individual with a lot of scars on his back, hides in a castle, wants to be the best fighter in the world, but there might be a little more to his real-life personality, and so begins Suzu and her friend's journey to find out who is the Beast, and can the power of the internet help them in the real world.
Also, this movie can be summed up as, what would happen if you left a really, really smart 15-year-old alone with her parents' computer and a quest for money?
Are you talking about the greatest character in the movie?
Yes, fucking Hiroka.
Oh, I love that woman so much. That girl needed to be the star of the movie.
I'm kind of happy with Suzu being the star, so...
That's a good point. The whole point of Suzu being a shy, reserved girl whose strength comes from the anonymity of the internet, where you can have a personality, but you don't have to give up your anonymousness. That's a major theme of the movie.
But
and,
we'll get to where that goes.
We'll get to that not just with the movie, but the casting as well, because that was an interesting choice. Obviously, you can't adapt a movie from Japanese to English without a director and a scriptwriter. And you certainly can't adapt this movie without a song adapter as well, because this movie has a lot of singing in it, and all of it was dubbed. You can switch the audio tracks and listen to the Japanese singing, or you can keep it in English and listen to some really amazing English adaptations of Japanese songs. Shall we begin?
Yes.
Let's go.
To the danger zone?
Look, that's Top Gun.
Top Gun, the straightest, gayest movie you'll ever watch.
Oh my god, that beach football scene. Mm.
Do you mean volleyball?
Volleyball?
No, then the new one, it's football, sweetie.
Oh, shit. Did you
I
just
haven't
pull
seen
the
the new
no
one yet.
you on us Top Gun style? Fellas, is
Well,
it gay to play with your balls on the beach with your teammates?
Are you seriously referencing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Why would I not? That's a
Good
cultural
point.
landmark.
Yes, it is. Anyways, so directing and scriptwriting for this. So our director for Belle is one Michael Cinder Nicholas, and our scriptwriter is Stephanie Shea, and our song adaptation was done by Ludwig Forsell. And well, hold on a second here. I could be having deja vu because I seem to remember us talking about another movie directed by Michael Cera Nicholas and script written by Stephanie Shea earlier this year. Dear God, could this be another NYAV post adaptation?
Oh my God,
Oh my-
who would have thought?
Who would have thought G-Kids would have contacted NYAV Post?
I'm shocked, I tell you. This is so unlike anything they've done before.
But the next Shinkai film probably won't be them, though.
Good point. I think we should talk about that maybe at another time, but that's a minefield all on its own. Where have you heard Michael Cera Nicholas and Stephanie Shea's work before? All right, they've both been directors and scriptwriters on, like Megan was saying, other G-Kid released feature films that we've talked about in this podcast before. They were adaptation people for Your Name, for Oko's Inn, and even for an episode that Gigi and I just covered a couple weeks ago, Weathering with You.
First of
Yeah,
all, Your
boy.
Name was not done by G-Kids. That was Funimation.
I'm sorry, you're right, but the same director and writer.
Yes.
duo. Sorry.
Also, they did Promare, so.
That they did. That was a G.
I thought that the songs were adapted by the Japanese person who wrote them.
They were done together with them, because Ludwig Forsell also did the composition on Belle with him.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I watched that on the Blu-ray, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Ludwig Forsell also did the composing to the video game Death Stranding. You know, that game where you run around with the baby and the dude from The Walking Dead?
Norman Reedus fetus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. He also did Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear Solid, The Definitive Experience and those are big things. He also got a special thanks from the Horizon Zero Dawn crew. But he did Belle's composing with, IMDb, you suck. Taisei Iwataki is the big one. And a lot of us would know who Taisei Iwataki is. They did the music for series like Blood Blockade Battlefront, The Dragon Pilot. Yeah, they did a lot of stuff. But anyway, back on track. No, I'm sorry to backseat post you.
No, I want the mix there because we're going to have a lot of varied individuals on this episode because, as is customary for NYAV casts, they usually get a mix of both seasoned actors and people that you've never seen in an anime before. So
And maybe
don't be
shouldn't
afraid.
have been given roles.
Yes.
Looking at you,
We'll hold off
weathering
on that
with
for
you.
now.
Hey.
I do not like that movie and I do not like that dub. I'm going to be
That's
honest.
okay. I love both, so.
I liked them okay. Not so much to dislike or love the other. So I'll be right here in my nice static no commitment zone.
No fear zone.
So about this this adaptation here, I'd say it's pretty good. What about you guys?
Oh, this was such a step up for me from Weathering with You, and I was terrified this was going to be terrible.
Really?
I did not like a lot of the use of we're going to get large name celebrities to be these characters. Like, yeah, not Alison Victorin, wow.
You're talking about from the Weathering with You?
Yes!
Alison Brie.
Thank you. Like, her and what's his nuts from Lord of the Rings.
Lee Pace.
Yes!
No. Yeah, yeah, from The Hobbit, not from the original Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, whatever, they all meld together for me. They were fine, but then you get, like, Riz Ahmed, who is terrible. And I didn't particularly care for the two newer actors that they got, too, in it. But this, I thought they did a great job casting. I thought the only person I genuinely, I think, have a problem with is Justin's voice. Maybe Justin and, the guy. Oh my god, not Kane-san. Kane-san's great.
Oh, you're talking about the
Kamishin.
one who proposed. I'm sorry, which one?
Not Kamishin, but
Shinobu.
Shinobu took a long time to get used to. But I thought that the script adaptation was great. I thought it felt very natural and as natural as you could be for this. But like, let's talk about the actual star of this, and that is the songs.
Yep.
Mhm.
This is some of the best dubbed anime song work I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
Wow.
So much so that I actually prefer it over the Japanese. My biggest fear is because I have listened to the Japanese version of the soundtrack.
I was gonna ask, did you actually listen to the original?
I have listened to the original. And the thing I felt as a fear when I first listened to it was, oh my god, I felt like they had Belle's actress at first almost mimic the Seiyu a little too closely.
Mm-hmm.
But when I listened to it, with the context of the songs in the moment, it was a lot better. And I think it helps that, for one, this is the first time that Belle's actress had done anime voiceover at all. Like
any acting at all.
any acting at all. They were known as a singer, and I think they do a fantastic job acting wise. But there are just some songs that you need to deliver, and in particularly the penultimate song, A Million Miles Away, had to be both vulnerable and building into bombasticness, and it worked amazingly. And I think that the biggest thing that this had over a lot of other anime songs is that they had the original people there working on the adaptation, so it does kind of feel a little bit like cheating. But from what I understand, like, this is just going into some stuff. A lot of times licensors will have to actually approve the song's subtitle lyrics before they can go up. As of the time of this recording, I don't think the show will be over when this goes up, but like, that's been a big issue with Tokyo Mew Mew New, is that that'll have songs in it, and like, that swath of the show will just have no subtitles. Because they have to wait to get the song lyrics approved. But overall, I think I don't know if this is my favorite dub of a Hosoda film, though. Like,
that's a high bar to clear.
Yeah, because, like, as much as I really like a lot of the acting in this, I still feel like there was something that I just don't know, like, it doesn't have the magic of something like Summer Wars to me.
Well, I mean, a lot of the variety of characters that we had in something like Summer Wars isn't really here in this movie.
I disagree that there are a lot of great characters, and I will say that this movie has some of the best walla work I've ever heard in my life. The walla work on this movie is impeccable.
Oh, you're talking about, like, in the universe of You, how
yeah,
there's
the
a bunch
walla
of
work
background chatter.
It's impeccably done.
Yeah.
This is a different movie than Summer Wars, though. As much as you joke about, haha, Hosoda's doing the digital world thing again, this has a different theme and tone to it, which calls for different acting. I think my issue is with potentially a licensor mandate from GKIDS that feels a lot like you have to have this screen actor in your movie. And, like, I will say this, and I know it's a very petty thing to get bugged about, but, like, Belle's actress isn't even the first person listed on her own poster.
That's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon, but it says something. And I know there's a whole rule thing about it, but, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I genuinely like it more when people who do this as their main day-to-day living are the ones in it, and I guess that's why, like, out of all of the dubs I've seen from GKIDS, Promare is still my favorite, and I think is one of the best ones.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna disagree with everything you said, so I'm glad that you got that out right away.
Jesus Christ, here we go. I got tea, fam. I'm literally drinking the tea.
I over exaggerate. I have a problem with this dub. What I do love about the music is that it's impeccably mixed.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just sing the song into the microphone and we'll like make sure that the pitch matches, or we'll auto correct a couple of spots here and there. No, you listen to it and you hear it crescendos at the right moment. It blends with the audio instrumentals at the right time. There's a little bit of intentional auto-tune, not like pitch correction to make sure that you hit the right note. It's like that very intentional digital sound that enhances a performance when you use it sparingly. You can hear that mixed into this performance, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. That first number that she comes in, and I don't know the lyrics, sorry, but it's like... I
think that's called Millennium Parade.
Thank you. I heard it a bunch because it was, fun fact, the first clip of this movie was leaked online months before it even had its theatrical run, and you could see that. You could see the entire millennial parade and the aesthetics and all that. And that song, like you were saying, Megan, is different from the Japanese singer. The Japanese singer sung it kind of a full, very Broadway, showy kind of way. But the English performance is like ramped up even more. It's like amps up the angst that goes with the lyrics, and it plays up the intensity of kind of playing to the cheap seats almost, which I think it does say quite a bit about how they mimic the sound a little bit, but they amp it up
I'm
quite
actually
a bit
wrong.
more
It's
for the
not
American
called
audience.
Millennium Parade. It's just called You.
It's just called
You.
what? Ah, well, but you know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
She's on the whale.
Why are there whales? Why are
Because
there
there was a
always
where in
whales?
Summer Wars.
It's
I know
just
that
Soda's
because
favorite animal. Let him have it.
There was a whale in Boy and the Beast, too!
I literally watched Summer Wars the day before we saw Belle in the theater, and I was like, why is the whale from Summer Wars in here? And Chris is like, this is why I made you watch Summer
It's
Wars.
because
before we went to
Soda
go
likes
see
whales.
this."
Let him like whales.
I guess. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just, it's very fun to like, we've seen all of his movies, we've seen all of his films kind of as they come out, and it's very fun to kind of look at and be like, that's a thing that was in all of his movies. Ah, I see what you did there.
Just like Shinkai and his misconstrued romances.
Yeah, we
Wah.
talked.
And weird immaculate details on certain things, like feet. That one movie.
Mm-hmm. Garden of Words.
Yep.
But that has nothing to do with the dub here. And yeah, I don't have a qualm with the dub. I didn't really have a point where I thought like this wasn't being done well, because there's so much audio coming at you almost all the time, whether it be in the like a karaoke scene where there's a lot of high schoolers, there's a recruiting scene in a high school, there's a huge wall of sound in the world of You, and in all of it, it sounds professional. It does not sound like just getting a bunch of people in a gymnasium and recording the ambient noise. Like, this was clearly dozens of layers of audio files layered against each other to sound right. So I think they understood it, and if you told me that there was input from the original Japanese producers to make it sound like what they wanted it to sound like, I would totally believe you. Now, Gigi, obviously, we've torn this movie to shreds, so you must have some positive things to say.
Well, so here's the thing. I feel like for the past, 2 years, all I've done for Summer at the Movies is talk about NYAV post dubs.
Next year, we're putting you on something different.
All we're going to do is we're going to get you a movie from, like, the 1970s.
Oh, Christ. How about one that just came out? Because we're literally been watching them all this year.
Or you could watch The Cinephile as well.
Oh, my God. That is okay.
Yeah, that's right. You saw that.
Yeah, I've seen them all. Literally seen every single one that's come out in the theater.
We just need to bully Big West into dubbing Macross.
Oh. That was so good, though. Oh, my God. Macross was so good.
It can happen.
Oh, God. I don't even know if I want to hear it dubbed, to be honest. But
That's another story.
That aside, like, I wrote in my notes, I was like, props for blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's the same shit they do in every other movie that they direct and write and cast, which is they pick out some unknown people and then they put some celebrities in there that may or may not have done voice acting before. And usually it's the unknown people who work out real well, and then the celebrities are like, but your name's on the poster. And this was one where actually I am a huge fan of the person whose name was on the poster. So I was like fangirling out like the moment I saw
Gigi
the
was more
dub
excited than
announcement.
anybody else for that guy, and the rest of us were like, oh, okay.
Because I watched Gossip Girl, okay?
There's
As
a bear
my
shit in the
life
woods.
is, oh god, Gossip Girl is the best. XOXO. But like the other famous person in this, we'll talk to him when we talk about him. But they tried. I mean, really, the thing you can have like. It's a perfectly valid writing job, a perfectly valid directing job. I don't have anything terrible to say about either one because most of this movie is told kind of in silences and in songs. And because the song adaptation is so good and the song direction is so good, like I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that 3/4 of this movie in the theater, I was ugly crying. Like tears running down my face because just anything that they could have done with a dub script and directing wise, like it was just usurped by all the music in it. So I mean, like they could have had a trash can talk for some of these people and I still would have been ugly crying through 3/4 of the movie. But I will tell you that Michael Sinterniklaas directed this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
The little children, how he directed those little children to scream and cry. Oof, that hurt me like on a physical level. Like my heart was like breaking in pieces.
They had a kayak and a rope. The mob could have survived.
I know. Chris was like, he said something. Now I can't remember
This
what
is
it
why.
was.
This is why Shaq and Rose could have fit on the door.
Yeah, it was like, why didn't she just swim back, or why didn't she wear the life vest and swim back with the kid? And I was like, dude, I don't know. This is an anime movie. The mom's got to die.
It's
She
an
has to
anime
die.
movie that was teamed up and helped designed by a person who worked at Disney. Of course, the mom's fucking dying.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's a standard NYAV Post / G Kids dub in the way that it was written and directed, but in the way that the music was, just the music is just better than anything I could have asked for. So
Almost feel like the music should have gotten top billing over the people on the credits.
Yeah, honestly.
yeah, it probably
Just put
should
Belle's
have.
actress there because she was the star.
She
Oh my
was.
God.
It was I mean, they got a legitimate singer who brought energy to this in a way that if it did not carry the crowd rapturing level that Belle has in this movie, it wouldn't be believable. So that's kind of a necessary element, and I think they did it.
I
The
do
question-
wish they would have cast more like professional voice actors though.
There are some, but they're all almost like put down to these secondary characters.
Yeah, they're hidden. They're like sprinkled around. I think they could have
Like, we're not talking about her, but like Peggy Sue is played by Christina V.
right, and she was really cute in it. And there's some people that we're literally about to talk about next who are kind of like legends in the industry. But I think,
Yes, they are. Yeah.
I think there could have been some like male voice actors who do it professionally thrown around in there who were playing some bigger roles.
I didn't see that part. I get where you're saying that some of the male younger voices, like the more male lead voices, weren't like up to the level of quality from actors who we know could have done this very well. But it didn't bother me too much because the actors they got kind of filled the tropes that they were clearly going for. And I was like, that's enough for me. I don't need the greatest performance. I just need those tropes to be filled because I don't think the movie
Yeah, but you could
really was
also
trying to do
you could
more
also
than
have
that.
those tropes filled and have that performance elevated to what the film is, because this is like a big deal movie, and I know you and I disagree about potentially the quality or where it went, but
The story itself, not the acting.
yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the dub a lot. So
I did too. I really loved it. I haven't even seen it in the Japanese. That's how much I love the English dub.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question before we move on. Was if you have experience with listening to the Japanese, do you think you could still recommend the dub over the sub to people who just ask you on the street?
probably, yeah. If you were like, if you asked me which one I'd want to listen to, I'd probably watch the dub over the sub. But it's not because, and like I've seen the sub trailer, but like I don't know. I don't know. I much preferred the dub for this, and I think it's because the overall message of what the movie was about resonated for me a lot. And I think that especially coming from somebody who watches a lot of and has grown up, especially in the age of the internet in the West, I have some words about how much I love the end of this movie and how much I think people who are down on it are completely wrong about it.
I'll be happy for you to tell me why I'm wrong in just a few minutes. But we can't really get to that discussion until we talk about the performers in this movie. And we're going to start out with a brief group who are not as prominent on the poster, but they are prominent near the last third of the movie. We're going to talk about the adults in the lives of our characters. And we're going to talk about all of the... basically, Suzu joins a after-school choir that is composed entirely of older women. And we're going to talk about all of them. And we're also going to talk about Suzu's dad in this section as well, because he doesn't have as much of a presence in the overall story, but he's worth mentioning overall. So, who are the actors in this whole section here? I'm going to rattle them off here along with their voice actors, just to give you a taste. So, we've got 4 women who are in this choir group that kind of act as Suzu's backup helpers near the end of the movie. They are Kita, voiced by Jessica G. George, Yoshitani, voiced by Barbara Goodson, Nakai, voiced by Wendy Lee, and Okumoto, voiced by Ellen Stern. And of course, to round this group off, we have Suzu's dad, voiced by Ben Lepley. Now, Gigi mentioned before that this section here is where we're going to get legitimate, legendary anime voice actresses who, honestly, we could have had as bigger roles in the movie, but we're glad to have them here because all of these actresses have been around for a long time.
All these veteran voice actresses and Ben Lepley.
Yeah, I was going to say, the women are veterans, not so much Suzu's dad, but...
Excuse me, Suzu's dad is a legend to me!
I know, I know exactly why. I fucking know exactly why.
Why, Noah? Why is he a legend to Megan?
Because he voices a guy in Fire Emblem's
What's his name, Biznatch? Don't you dare say my Fire Emblem husband is just some guy.
I mean, I could just say that because I know that'll make you mad.
Jenny, kick him in the nuts.
Oh, she already left. There were no nuts to be kicked here. But yeah, Ben Lepley, he's done other stuff before, but
wow,
you know him in this
off!
because he voices Deidou in Fire Emblem.
Not Deidou. Oh my god, we are not friends. I don't fucking know this boy. I don't know this man. He just showed up at my house one day. Deidou. It's Dudu, you ignorant slut.
It's not an insult, Megan, if it's not true.
Good lord.
Anyway, we had to get that out of our system because, yeah, that's what Ben is known for here in this group right here. But I want to give a shout out to the actresses who are playing the other women here. For example, Jessica G. George. She's been around for a long time in the anime voicing world. She voiced bit parts in shows like Apocalypse Zero, Magic Knight Rayearth, and Metal Fighter Miku.
There's a show that... Oh, we're talking about a nice, wholesome family film. I don't know, let's bring up a show. I know, Apocalypse Zero.
I was only trying to illustrate how long she's been in the game, but you're right, that is out of character for the type of movie we're talking about. That just shows how long she's been around. But that's not what I know her for, personally. I know her more because... you ever seen this dinosaur movie called The Land Before Time?
Stop it, who?
What the hell?
Okay, so not the original
Never
one.
mind, I don't care.
Aw. Okay, no, she wasn't in the original, but in the later movies and even the TV show for The Land Before Time, Sarah gets a stepmom named Tria, and I didn't know this until I looked it up, but Jessica voices that character. She's like the only recurring character that's not from previous earlier movies. Like, she sticks around for a couple
My
of
question
movies.
is, how did Daddy Top's racist ass land a catch like that?
That is a great question, and that's a bonus episode on our Patreon that we are totally going to have.
The
Because that's a
discussion
question
of
more
Daddy
than-
Top's racism?
Yes, it is. That is worth a discussion after that. Tell you what, when we're done talking about Belle, we'll talk about that.
Noah, do you know I bought a pin that literally is Littlefoot screaming tree stars this weekend?
Is it that image with his mouth like a Muppet where it's like wide open?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I'm so proud of you, Megan. Keep being you.
It literally
I'm
stares
sorry.
at me as I record.
I'm sorry, I'm going to blitz through the next couple here because, what I say, Yoshitani is voiced by Barbara Goodson. Do I need to list anything here? Because it's Barbara Goodson. She's Rita Repulsa. She's been around for a long time. She's, Naoto in Fooly Cooly. She's Barbara Goodson. She doesn't need me to introduce her anymore. Wendy Lee also does not need me to introduce her anymore because if you've been living under a rock on Saturn in the 10th dimension, then maybe you don't know who Wendy Lee is, but you all know Wendy Lee because she's Wendy Lee. My point stands. And lastly, Ellen Stern. That's one who you might not know as much because she hasn't been around as long as some of the other ones, but she has been around since at least the mid-2000s because she voiced Miyuki in Noween, which I've been told it actually aired on the Sci-Fi Channel. I didn't know that until recently.
I cannot think of ever that show without the bloopers.
Say it! Come on, say it, Megan! Say the blooper! Come on, do it! Oh, wait, I'll lead you up. Where did they go?
Ah, Crispin, get out of my bedroom. And of course, then I'm gonna do the dog, and then I'm gonna do you.
There you go.
What?
Oh, have you never
there's
heard
a-
the bloopers
Oh.
for Noween?
No.
Okay.
Oh man,
Let-
there's a literal running gag that lasted as long as the Durarara bloopers between Yuri Lowenthal and Crispin Freeman.
Oh my god. I'll have to see if Chris has it hiding somewhere.
It's on the DVD, so yes, you should
I
definitely
believe it
track
is
it
also
down.
on the Funimation Blu-ray release.
More than likely, but the reason why we bring it up is because usually they delete Crispin's bloopers because they're so inappropriate that they don't keep them. But the one that they kept, and even Crispin was surprised they kept that, was where are they? I believe they both went to the Waffle House. What's that? I'm gonna do the both of you, and then I'm gonna do the dog. Just Crispin Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm scared of you.
But anyway, it has nothing to do with Ellen Stern. I'm sorry. She's also been in Skip Beat. If you've seen that show recently, she was Mrs. Taoshi in that. And if you're more of a Gundam person, she's played the role of Martha in some stuff like Gundam NT and Gundam Unicorn. So that's fun to talk about. Unfortunately, I don't have many notes on this group of women because they're just kind of a group. Like, the individual
They are
characters.
the best. They are the best set of aunties that you could ever want as a girl going through a lot of trauma.
Hell yeah.
That they-
Also, Suzu's
They
dad
are-
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally what I wrote down.
Sorry, Ben Lipley, I love you, but Suzu's dad literally just exists.
Like,
Do you want to know what I wrote down?
nothing.
Almost. I had to write something, so I wrote, yep, that's a dad, all right. End of sentence.
The dad was barely there.
Yes.
Just
was.
like in the movie. Just like in real life. No, I'm just kidding.
Aww.
No, all the aunties were like super passionate and they had good comedic timing and they were singing really well. I was surprised about that.
Oh yeah, they're great. I love the auntie squad.
Like I love aunties. I wish I had some aunties like that. Like
I
Of
do
course,
have
the most-
aunts like that, and they fucking rule.
nice.
Okay,
I
technically,
aim to be
okay,
an aunt like that.
Okay, technically.
Oh, you already are.
Technically, do they count if two of them are gay men?
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, my
absolutely.
uncles Terry and Tom count.
Hee hee.
But the most important question, is this group of aunties better than the group of aunties from Turning Red?
Okay, the ones in Turning Red were also inflicting mild generational trauma, so yes, these ones are better.
Yes, they were mean.
Fair enough.
Also, you should all go watch Turning Red. That movie's amazing.
Turning Red is great, and May and Belle would be friends. May and Suzu would be buddies.
Fully anticipating now that Turning Red will win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature at the 2023
It's a good
Academy
movie!
Awards. I know it's a good movie. I'm just saying that it also is a Pixar movie, so it has to win.
It's got Four Town in it. That's the best part.
I can't deny that. That's
And then
another
those,
movie with
I
good
love
singing.
that whole gag of, and then there's those two guys.
It's how boy bands work.
Also, yes, Mamoru Hosoda did in fact draw Mei Mei.
Yes, he did. I love that picture of him. It's like Girl Who Leapt Through Time image with Turning Red characters. It's great. Voice acting on this. I think the only one of the aunties who kind of stands out is, and I think it's Wendy Lee's character, because she has a bit of a tangent about how she loves them bad boys, and when she was younger, she wrote a song for one.
Yes, which also had a call out to Eddie Buddy, who is into anime bad boys. Not two people that would be on this podcast. Absolutely fucking not. With the line, I believe it's Barbara Goodson's one who goes, "Oh, and you think I can fix him?"
That's what all girls think.
I mean-
We
I
can
don't
fix
know why.
anything.
I mean, on the one hand, I can fix it. On the other hand, he's fucked up, but I'm kind of liking him that way.
This is how we live our lives.
Why not just go for a guy who's already fixed, you know? Like,
There is no such thing.
Yeah,
None.
but if he's already fixed, he can't give me babies.
True.
I didn't realize the trap I was walking into. Thank you for calling that out, Megan.
You walked right into that like a golden retriever to a glass door. A golden retriever who also doesn't have his nuts.
One.
One. One, Haruka-chan.
Can I talk about my favorite golden retriever, Nate Archibald, now?
Who the fuck is that?
Oh my
Oh,
god,
oh,
the guy on Gossip Girl.
Calm down, Tom. We'll get to it. But we will. Not in the next section. I think it's in the section after
I thought
that,
it was
actually.
this one. He's the next person I wrote down.
Meow.
I think you're gonna have to wait just a little longer. But before I move on, I just want to ask: Did we have any other positive praise to play upon the seasoned voice actress squad?
Oh yeah,
who
shout out
absolutely
to
needed
them
more
for
time?
having issues with Japan's fucking child services.
Rightfully so.
Like,
Yes.
You can't do anything for 48 hours.
apparently this has been like a long thing in anime, like about how Japan's child service checks suck ass. Because I was talking about this with some friends on my Discord, and I was talking about how much I really like the end of this movie, and somebody goes, yeah, I think it was Josh, who was like, yeah, Higurashi prepared me for the fact that Japanese Child Protective Services fucking sucks.
Wow. So that's not just a trope, that's like an actual
Yeah, apparently it was
issue
also
that's
an
happening.
important subplot in Erased.
You know what? I never thought about that. Like, I knew that it was calling out the abusive parents, but I didn't pick up on the fact that, yeah, why didn't Protective Services step in a little bit sooner?
Man, it's like Protective Services worldwide sucks ass.
I mean, I just got done re-listening to Odd Taxi, and I thought that Protective Services were a little more up and up, but then I realized, wait, no, it's not the Japanese system that takes care of the character who loses their parents. It's the mafia. It's the Yakuza who takes care of him.
The Yakuza helping Japan. I mean, have you played the Yakuza games? I think that's a
Who
plot point
do
in
you
the
think you're
Yakuza
talking to?
games.
Of course I haven't. We're going to talk about more video games here that I haven't played in just a bit.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so that's so I'm glad that they got that little bit of social commentary in here. And yeah, as far as voice acting, I think that this quartet of women is a lot of fun and needed to be in the movie more. Or at least their actresses did. Someone who did not need to be in the movie more are the next two characters we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Justin, and we're going to talk about Kai and Tomo's dad. Now, why do we talk about these two put together? Yeah, we'll get to that guy from that show.
I thought
But
he
first
was.
we gotta talk-
I thought he was Justin.
He is.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry, my credits are written backwards here.
You
Okay,
made
so
Gigi
we'll
put
talk
down
about
her
him.
boner for nothing?
Well, look, that lady boner's got to be kept in check, all right? If you overfeed it, it's gonna explode.
What is it, a fucking gremlin? Don't masturbate after midnight or you'll get a second clitoris?
Would that be so bad?
Moving on. So why are we talking about these
Now
two?
Chris
so
can't
we're
find
talking
two
about.
buttons.
I'm out. I'm out.
At last, finally, we resumed control.
On this episode of Gossip Girl.
And so we return to our regularly scheduled.
On this very special episode
Very
of Summer at the Movies.
What happens when the female libido gets just a little out of control? Well, it's
We
fitting
called
that we
it
talk about that
Chiminetta.
in this. So, in this movie, we're adapting Beauty and the Beast because Belle is like Belle, Beast is the Beast. So we got to have a Gaston character in here, and that is Justin in this movie. Justin is the leader of a internet task force that essentially takes down people who aren't behaving themselves. He's set up as a knightly character.
And every morning he eats 24 NFTs, and now he's roughly the size of a barge.
Cue the musical number. So that's why we're grouping him in this section here because just like Gaston, he might not be as good as he initially comes across. And someone who is really, really not good at all is Kai and Tomo's dad. And yeah, I'm not just mixing up his name because this is what we remember him as. He doesn't have a name. He doesn't have any identifying characteristics except for the fact that he is the dad to the characters of Kai and Tomo, who we will talk about in a bit. And he is the world's biggest piece of shit.
Him and Justin are competing for it.
Justin's just kind of doing his job. This dad is...
Is he though?
Is
he though?
Yes, he was given a laser to show people who you really are, and that's
Just
what he's
because he
supposed
was
to be
given
doing.
the power to dox people doesn't mean he's a good guy.
Oh, I didn't say he was a good guy. I just said that he's doing what he's supposed to do. Dads are not supposed to be domestic abusers, which is exactly what this
Yes,
guy
and
is.
neither is Justin is not to be abusive on the internet.
Look, do you really want me to rank between the two of these guys? Can we
I
just say
mean,
they're
yes,
equally
Kay Tomo's
nuts?
dad is higher, but I'm not letting Justin off the hook.
Okay, that's fair. I don't want to let him off the hook either. Just like I don't want to let their actors off the hook. So, yes, let's get that lady boner back on screen here. We're just gonna drag it back in here.
Let Gigi's come on screen.
So
Jesus Christ.
So Justin is voiced by Chase Crawford, and the dad is voiced by Kif Vanden Heuvel. Chase, he hasn't really done a whole lot. He's really not done a whole lot of voiceover work because the only voiceover work I could find in his resume is he's done bit voice roles in shows like Robot Chicken and Family Guy. You may have seen him in a recent show called The Boys. He plays the Deep. But to everyone listening, and probably most people around the world, he got his notoriety playing a certain character named Nate Archibald in this, it's a hardly known show called Gossip Girl. I think someone in this call has heard about it before.
God, I love that show.
What is it? I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's teenage white girls doing terrible things.
They're all rich, and they all live in New York, and they all, drink a lot of champagne, underage, and it's wonderful. And it's also a book series, which has absolutely nothing to do, pretty much, with the TV show, except the characters' names and vague descriptions are sort of the same.
Gotcha.
Yes, I read all the books. Thank you.
Oh.
I fucking love Gossip Girl. It's fucking garbage, and fucking Chase Crawford plays the world's biggest himbo, Nate Archibald, which is why this casting choice works. Anyway, talk about the other guy so I can
I'm sorry, but Justin is not a himbo.
Yes, he is a himbo.
No, he's not.
He is a
no,
himbo.
no,
He
no,
is
no,
a
no, 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 no.
himbo.
Oh no,
Does
we are
he
going to have a
respect
fucking
women?
discussion about this.
Does he
Himbos,
respect
Gigi,
women?
have 3 rules. They must be big, they must be stupid, and they must be
Stupid.
kind. Justin is none of those.
He is 2 out of 3.
That is not
That is
enough.
not enough!
There's a term for it. Only term.
He's too
He is
mean
a Chad.
to be a himbo.
He's a,
I guess Chad would probably be more.
Yes, he's
Yes.
a Chad, not a himbo. A himbo is Kamishin is a himbo.
I don't know who that
Gigi.
is.
Gigi, I will not let you group Justin in the same category that includes illustrious characters like Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove.
Or Gallo.
Yes, Gallo from Promare.
You don't want to get me started on the Promare train.
And okay, that's going to be another bonus podcast episode. where we
No,
just,
it's not.
the
Do you
himbo
not
episode
like?
coming
Do you
soon.
not like Promare?
I hate Promare.
I think we talked about this a little
We
bit. on
did.
the
We
Web
talked
Review
about it in
episode.
our movie. I do not like Promare, and it is
Well,
it is for
Yeah.
a reason that is probably my own fault. But I just really did not like it, and it lied to me.
I love you, but this feels like a betrayal.
I'm sorry if I hadn't had been told it was the gayest movie I would ever see, and then the gay part was not even the gay part; it was fucking
Oh.
faked. Then
That is
maybe
true.
I would have liked it
It's
more. It
too-
also tried to give me a seizure.
Okay,
so I
fair,
don't
but it
like
is still
Promare.
well then. I do think they kind of oversold the gay part in the Promare buildup, but I feel like that was more the fandom, not really like the official marketing. Because I don't think the marketing was all like, it's the gayest thing ever.
They got
RuPaul
married
would
in
blush.
official merchandise.
They did. They, for fuck's sakes, Gigi, the robot is one of them topping the other.
It was not enough.
Well, I mean that's typical mecha things, you know.
It was not enough. I feel lied to and betrayed.
Well, you know who else betrayed people is the dad in this group here, because we'll have words about him. But how do you voice such a colossal, awful domestic abuser person? Why, you get Kif to voice him. Not that he's an abusive person, but he's had experience voicing one in particular. Now, I could list off some of the voice-over roles he's done, like he's Greg in the Croods Family Tree TV show, or he plays a side character of Ambrose in the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Not the ones from the 40s, but like the new 2010s one that was on Cartoon Network. He was doing stuff as recently as this year, because he voiced Obadiah Stane in the Marvel What If series, because getting Jeff Bridges back was just a little too expensive. But I have a feeling that most people here are going to know him for one particular video game, and that is playing the character of Comstock in BioShock, a game which I have not played,
Oh,
and therefore
man.
I don't know.
Oh man, fucking Comstock. Was it
Is that
BioShock
a
or BioShock
bad-
Infinite?
Yeah, BioShock
Oh
Infinite,
man,
sorry.
that's a fucking game. That's a game
I
that
don't
has
know.
not aged well.
I don't know anything
I
about
played
it.
all of.
either.
Let's just say he's a very alt-right politician in that game.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
that game is a lot. that game is really trippy. It's a lot, and it's the only FPS game I think I've ever finished the story for.
Oh.
And that includes
Okay.
Splatoon.
Oh man.
I've never finished the story more for voice acting. Let's talk about voice
You listen.
acting.
Yeah, let's talk about Nate Archibald here, and now this is where I think we were talking earlier about how this is a named voice, and I'm sorry, a named actor. Like he's literally the first name on the
Yeah,
the
which is
poster
kind
and
of
the DVD.
bullshit.
You're not wrong. It's not like he's the most prominent person in the movie. Justin shows up like 3 times. He shows up when the Beast first shows up to kind of explain the task force he's in charge of. He's interrogating to try to find the castle.
He burns the
and
fucker
then
down.
And then he's a plot device near the end of the movie. But his
I mean, to
archetype,
be
like
fair,
Justin's
Gaston
voice-
is also a plot device.
But he's a hunky plot device, but he had a little more depth to him in that movie. But in this movie, his voice is the archetypal like stoic. No, not stoic's not the right word. Like jock male kind of character voice.
He's that
And-
alpha businessman male voice.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of blanking on like a comparison or an equivalent role from another anime to compare it to at the moment, but it didn't bug me. Like, even though he's a celebrity with very little voice acting experience, it's not like this character I felt called for a whole lot of nuance to begin with, so I was fine with the archetype just the way it was.
I'm not as much fine with it because I do think that Justin's character is a little bit more nuanced, or at least I don't think you're giving what the character stands for enough.
Okay.
I think that Justin is he himself is a shitty person, but I think he represents kind of a lot of what ends up being kind of what the big fever dream is, the fever is of the movie, which is the right to how much internet society can deem someone to become unworthy of the persona that they have. Because a big thing that they make very clear early on is that, wow, from Suzu and Hiruka's perspective, that is, wow, Justin must be such a good person if all of these corporate sponsors are behind him and what he's doing.
That was a little on the nose.
He's
It was
clearly
like,
a
very
good
much-
person. And a lot of what the early parts of this movie, when the dragon is introduced, is that essentially Hiruka and Suzu try to dox him. And a lot of the movie is spent trying to figure out who the dragon is. From Suzu's point, it's a curiosity thing of, I want to know who you are. Hiruka kind of takes it as, well, you ruined my best friend's performance, how dare you, I want to get revenge on you for ruining her moment. But for everybody else, it becomes this huge big spectacle of, we're going to out this person no matter who they are, what they did, what their life is, because it has become a big mysterious game, and Justin is the big hero in it, and we want to find out who he is, because everybody else said that we should find out who he is. Except for little kids. All the little kids on you love him and don't want him outed. They think he's a hero because we don't understand until later on about it. It's probably likely that everyone's like, oh, he just gets into fights just to beat people up. It's probably that the dragon, as you learn later on, was probably defending people from bullies on you, because that's why he took on this appearance based off of his feelings.
The appearances in the virtual reality aren't just like customizable, I want to look like this. It's a direct reflection of your persona.
And who you want to be. Like how Suzu ends up looking like Ruka because she thinks Ruka is popular and pretty, but deep down she still wants to be herself. That's why Belle has the freckles. So to me, what Justin represents is an eventual rejection of the idea of doxing for sport. In a sense that Justin exists not to quote-unquote be the law because you needs law. It's, I'm the law because people are doing things on the internet that I don't like and I want to get rid of them. But people think I'm being a good guy because I make that person look like an asshole. Therefore, when I do shine my light on them and unveil them as the person they're trying to hide, and show everybody what a freak and a weirdo they are, I'm still in the right and I have all this backing. It's why when towards the end of the movie in the penultimate song, normally the person who gets changed back in the Beauty and the Beast story is the Beast. In this case, it's Belle and Suzu asserting her own agency to reclaim the idea that she had to be Belle for anyone to listen to her, because that's what Justin says. Nobody cares that Suzu is a mousy nobody. But when it came down to it, Suzu being a mousy nobody who shared the same trauma as Kei and Tomo, because one of the big things that you see early on in the movie, and I do think that the twist with Kei and Tomo is actually set up really well via subtle hints.
I will disagree with that later on.
Is that early on in the movie, you see a news thing with Kei and Tomo's dad talking about how they lost their mother, and they're trying to keep it together.
Sure. It was included early
It was,
on.
I
Right,
think,
agree
and there
with
are
that.
other things like about how the angel is always the first person to find Belle, because to them, Belle is a mousy nobody like them in a sense, because the first thing we see when Belle starts singing the first time is everybody calls her a drama queen, blah blah blah. So to me, the idea that Chase Crawford gives just a serviceable performance to Justin is not really fair to what Justin represents thematically. I think that you could have had a more established voice actor come in and give it that little bit more depth. And of all things, a little more threatening. 'Cause I never felt menace or threat.
That's what I think.
Menace
also.
or threat from Chase's Justin. Because, like, they set up the laser being a huge fucking deal. And despite the fact that the actress who plays Belle does a really good job of feeling really scared in those moments,
Yeah.
I don't think Chase's performance is as threatening to live up to it. If anything, he sounds more annoyed that he's having to go through all this, when it's kind of clear to me that I think Justin's getting off on the chase. Like, this is a huge deal for him, because it's going to make him look even better than he already does. He's going to out the dragon who's been causing all this trouble, and he's going to be the hero. If he's going to be, he is the Gaston figure into this, along, honestly, with Kay and Tomo's father. He doesn't have, like, that's the one thing, too, is if we're gonna, this is a Beauty and the Beast story, and if we're going to compare it to, arguably, what is the most famous rendition of Beauty and the Beast being the 1992?
1991.
Of course it was the year it came out. I was born the year it came out.
1992 was the year Aladdin came out, thank you very much. And there was no movie in 1993 because they were trying to make The Lion King, and so that came out in 94. And take the mic away from
Anyway,
me, I've got too much to
but,
do
like-
in my head.
But, like, if you compare how okay, so here's the other thing, too. I don't think the Chase's Justin performance was also charismatic. Like, when I think of a Gaston figure, they have to be as much threat as they are charismatic, because the rest of the townspeople have to be in on their shit. And I think that Chase's performance was just a little bit of a letdown, especially compared to some of the actors and actresses we're about to talk about. And then Kip, I think, actually does a really good performance for how little he has to do. Like, that scene in the rain where he's screaming at Suzu,
He's powering up in the rain.
and he's gonna try to punch her, but in that moment
Yeah.
he realizes he can't, because deep down, like Justin, he is a coward who hides behind the power that he has. Like, the only reason he thought he could get away with Kay and Tomo is because he did like Gaston did. He put on a face outside to the world for everybody to see, and it's only when Tomo was streaming did anybody catch them. And even then, like the doxing, people saw it as a funny joke. It was funny to them to watch poor Tomo get picked on by his dad and abused, and just see
Yeah, that was very emblematic of
brutal to
internet
watch.
culture.
and like,
Yeah, it was.
and I think that brutality is needed because of where the movie goes with its message. And I think Kip did a really good... His name is Kip, right?
Kip.
Okay, cool. I keep on thinking of Futurama Kip, that's why. But overall, like, I really like Kip's small performance. I do think Chase did a serviceable job, but I do think a more established voice actor could have brought a little bit more depth to Justin's performance.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that was very long.
No, I agree with a lot of the things that you said. And I fucking love Chase Crawford. I love Chase Crawford. Nate Archibald, again, the ultimate himbo, which is why the whole time I was watching Justin, I was like, oh, okay, the ultimate himbo. But, like, I didn't get any intimidation from him. Like, I didn't get anything threatening. Like, at least at the end of Beauty and the Beast, when Gaston is up on the roof in the rain, like, he is, like, scary. Or, like, when he's throwing Belle's dad into the cage
asylum.
or whatever. Yeah. Like, he's scary. And so, like, the Gaston figure here is supposed to be a mixture of Justin and those kids' dad. And Kip did an amazing job. He was way more threatening and intimidating than Justin was. And
Oh, yeah.
like, Chase, I think, tried. Like, he doesn't really have experience in this kind of work. And so I think he did the best that he could, but it's hard to overcome the stereotypes. And I have not seen The Boys, so I don't know what his character is in The Boys. But it's hard to overcome the stereotypes of a character that you're mostly known for, who is like the biggest himbo. And, you know, I'm sure I'll get hate from other Gossip Girl fans who have watched it. Don't spoil me either. I'm still on season 4. Like, I still don't know who Gossip Girl is. Please don't
Jesus
tell
Christ.
me.
How many seasons are there of the show?
6 or 7.
Gosh darn.
But like, I really hated the end of season 3, and then I stopped watching it. And now I just turned on season 4 again, like right before we started recording this, because god damn, I love Chase Crawford. Even though I'm sure you'll all know this, that I am a Chuck Bass girl. Chuck Bass, the scum of the earth. Yes, we know how that works. But yeah, he just wasn't intimidating. Like, the voice wasn't intimidating. I wanted a lot more, especially because his name was so high on the poster. And like, before I knew anything about this movie, I was like, holy shit, Chase Crawford is going to be in this. And then it took me a couple scenes to figure out who he was. And then I was like, oh, that's weird.
Does his voice in this movie, does Chase's voice as Justin sound at all like Nate in Gossip Girl?
No,
to you?
because Nate is kind of like really laid back and kind of like a stoner, and he's like the quintessential prep boy. Like, it's not like this at all, which it's like a complete, like, you have to get to that point to be very intimidating and sound very threatening. And he didn't do it. And like I said, I haven't seen him in The Boys, so I don't know anything else he's acted in, except I think he was in like a movie that I watched once a long time ago. But I think Kip did an amazing job. I wish they could have pulled more out of Chase. But to be fair, out of the quote unquote, you know, famous people who are in this cast, he is not the worst.
Quote unquote. Oh, I think I know which one you think is not going to be the best one, and we'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that.
But yeah, no, I agree with you, Megan.
Now, see, I can't entirely agree on the sense that Chase's performance needed to be more threatening and intimidating, because here's the difference. Justin is not a romantic interest at all. Gaston, in all adaptations that he's been included into, be it the original Jean Cocteau movie where he first got introduced, or the Disney version, or any other adaptations that have included a Gaston character, he's supposed to be a romantic interest to Belle, and Justin is not at all. He has no romantic interest in Belle. In fact, his inclusion in this felt very tertiary, like, we need to have a Gaston character, but him being a romantic interest to Suzu would throw off the dynamic of the movie, so we're just going to keep some of his elements. And those elements are that he is a mascot hero to the denizens of this internet, and that, yeah, he thinks he's better than the people that he hunts, quote unquote. So yeah, I don't agree with these two exactly in that Chase needed to be that different. I think the way that he was directed was just as wishy-washy as the character itself was written in here. I don't know why they felt the need for this to be a Beauty and the Beast adaptation. It's like, there were enough elements mixed in here with the internet doxing culture, the overcoming your anxieties, and just the modern day internet setting that it doesn't tie into the original Beauty and the Beast story at all.
To be fair, it took me until they got to the castle to realize, holy shit, it's just a Beauty and the Beast adaptation.
That was so obvious. That was like so on the nose. Like, okay, we don't have a teapot or a candle, but we've got AIs. It's all you get, people. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I got issues with the writing in this movie, and Justin is not the worst part at all. It's like he doesn't show up enough in this movie to be a problem. He's there when he needs to be, and the voice is serviceable enough with the trope that this kind of character in other media fits. I'll definitely agree, though, that Kif is standout for the lines that he has. That scene in the rain where he is, venting his frustrations about, encroaching on his family and telling him what to do is really sad to see, because as a dad myself, I know people can get into that headspace sometime of they want to protect their family, they want to keep their family together, but they don't have anyone to keep them in check. And I haven't dealt with this, obviously, but when you lose your wife or a loved one who was kind of your calming agent, you don't know how else to act. You only know the growl, protect side of things. You don't know the nurture and comfort side. And that's what Kif definitely embodied in this performance of... it's kind of a straw man character. Like, it's like he was clearly written to just be a piece of shit embodiment of what's wrong with the Child Protective Services in Japan. But god dang it, he was an effective one. And that was a downer. Can we have some more fun characters in the next section, maybe?
I think so.
All right, let's do that. Let's move on from doxing and domestic abuse to the best friend squad. We're going to talk about 4 characters who are good buddies of our main character and deserve to, I don't know, like maybe get an OVA about them. So the 4 that we're going to talk about are, we're going to talk about Hiroka Betsuyaku, who is our best friend character and computer otaku nerd. We have Ruka Watanabe, who is a kind of a popular... She's the popular girl we see at the beginning of the movie, but she's not stuck up at all. She's a very nice individual who also gets wrapped up into the events of Suzu's life near the end of the movie. Then we have 2 guy characters. We have Shinjuru, or Kami-shan Chikami, who is the... this guy would be more of a himbo, don't you think,
Yes,
Megan?
he is the himbo.
Yes, he is a kayaking club individual who is just fun and happy. He's like a golden retriever turned into a human. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we've got to have the stoic best friend character who proposed when they were kids. We've got to have Shinbo Hisatake, who, again, he's the popular one in the school, to the point that when the other girls think that he's interested in Suzu, they start a war that has to be turned into a World of Warcraft CGI scene?
That
I thought it was
definitely-
Fire Emblem.
Or was it
I
Fire
was gonna say
Emblem?
it's more of the three Kingdoms shit.
I mean, well, the graphics definitely looked like any kind of those like turn-based RPG video games. It was very odd. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. But anyways, this guy's popular, and the girls are jealous bitches. Mm-hmm. So who voices these 4 characters? This is going to be fun to talk about. One of them I'm going to have a lot of fun talking about. Hiroka is voiced by Jessica DeCiso. I've known her name for years, and I've never been able to figure out how to pronounce it properly. I apologize, Jessica. Ruka is voiced by Hunter Schafer. Kamishin is voiced by Brandon Eggman. Hey, that's a name we talked about earlier. Well, we'll get to that later. And Shinobu is voiced by Manny Jacinto. I'm going to go in reverse order here. Manny Jacinto, you probably might not have actually seen much he's been in, because he's only really had like bit parts in shows like Bates Motel, Once Upon a Time, and Supernatural.
Are you kidding?
But if you're like Gigi and you watch The Good Place, you probably know him as the character of Jason.
Jason Mendoza from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's that guy from The Good Place.
Yeah, he makes out with Nick Jonas's wife. It's good times.
So, I don't know what that means at all.
Oh my god.
But
I think it's Nick Jonas's wife. I'm pretty sure. You continue.
Well,
I'm going to look it up.
Go do that. But yeah, you may have noticed that those are all live action performances. Manny has not done any other voiceover work as far as I can tell, but that's okay, because in 1 year from now, you will be able to hear him on a new Disney Channel show. That's right, in production right now, there's a new Disney Channel show called Haley's on It, where Manny will voice the best friend character of Scott.
Oh, nice.
So he will have more voiceover work by the time that a year has passed. I mean, they probably recorded it all by now. Going up the list, Brandon Eggman, voicing Kamishin. We know him because we talked about him on the Weathering With You episode, because the only voiceover work he has done is in all G-Kids released theatrical films. He's been in this, he's been Hadoka in Weathering With You,
Which one was
and
Hadoka
he was
again?
the lead boy.
Oh, he was so
The-
much
the
better
lead-
in this.
Yes, he is, because you can go back and listen to that episode, but I had issues with him in that movie. He's also Kunio in Lou Over the Wall. And aside from bit parts in shows like Law and Order SVU and After Forever, that's pretty much Brandon's legacy. This podcast, we know him for those 3 movies.
Sorry, it's not Nick Jonas's wife. That's my bad. Nick Jonas's wife is somebody else.
Gigi, I trusted you. I was going to take that information to be truth of law.
They don't even look alike. I'm sorry.
I don't know anything about The Good Place. I'm just pulling this out of my ass.
Jason Mendoza! Sorry, okay.
Ruka Watanabe, voiced by Hunter Schafer. So this is another person who hasn't really been in a whole lot so far, but will probably get a little more notoriety if you are much of a fan of trashy high school programming like Euphoria, because Hunter plays the character of Jules in that show, a show which IMDb simply describes as the escapades of teenagers and their sex and drugs.
It's edgy. It's on HBO Max. I haven't seen it. I don't want to say anything about it. But Zendaya's in it.
Yeah, they're the lead.
I don't know what that means.
Zendaya is an actress.
Okay.
Noah, have you seen the recent Spider-Man movies with the tiny little British boy?
The recent Spider-Man movie? I haven't seen the
What's his?
Have you seen
Tom
The
Holland
Greatest Showman?
movies. I've only heard the soundtrack. I never actually sat down to watch the movie.
Did you watch Space Jam: A New Legacy?
You know what? You're gonna murder me for this, but no. For some reason, my enthusiasm was completely non-existent. Didn't watch that one.
It was really bad.
It is really bad. But it also led to the phrase LeBron James is banned at Evo. Let's see.
Anyway, we can't help you with Euphoria. Let's move on.
That's
to
no,
hold on. Did you watch the new Dune?
I haven't even seen the original Dune.
Fucking Christ.
We can't help him. We can't help
him.
No. We're gonna fucking figure this out.
No, you're not. No. I'm just gonna list off that Hunter is also going to be in a new Hunger Games movie coming up. They're going to play the character of Tigress Snow in Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So look forward to that next year.
No.
Or not, if you're not a fan of that.
I love the
franchise.
Hunger Games. I can't take any more.
Well, you know what? Those 3 were just the warm-up, because I came on this particular episode, I wanted to host it, just to talk about Jessica. Because I have been a big fan of Jessica for years. She is like an actual American voice actor who has been in a ton of stuff and has a really distinct voice to her. If you're a 2000s kid, you probably saw The Buzz on Maggie on Disney Channel. Well, she played the lead character of Maggie in that. If you're watching HBO Max and you watch Close Enough, she plays Candace in that.
Great show.
Yes, it is, and I'm sorry that it's not getting a continuation. But I know her most because, do you guys know that in the mid-2000s, Warner Brothers took the Looney Tunes and made them superheroes?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so there was this amazing show called Lunatics Unleashed. It was set in the far future of 2772, and the Looney Tunes were superheroes. They had superpowers. They lived in a super angular anime world, and the character of Lexi, who is like the descendant of Lola Bunny, was voiced by Jessica in that show.
Fun.
And she has the superpower of like laser blasts out of her ears.
I'm sorry. I can't believe you don't know who Zendaya is. Even I know who Zendaya is.
I know who Zendaya is, and I literally don't watch American television.
Look, I'm gonna... Well, I don't either, so it's not like I need to know... Well, apparently I do know. I do need to know. Zendaya... Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Zendaya... Okay, I'm looking through I'm gonna go look through her cast list here.
She's dating Tom Holland.
I'm seeing that.
Like, they're super
that's one of the first things that pops up. Well, Tom Holland is cute, so anyone he dates is going to be cute as well. You know what? That's not the point. The point is that we just went over the cast list of who's all in this. I'm going to look through Zendaya's entire cast list here. I want you two to tell me why Brandon is better in this movie than he is in Wuthering You. Let's start with that.
I want to say this. I want to give G-Kids Stephanie Shea and Michael a huge round of applause for casting Hunter Schafer as
Yes.
Ruka, because Hunter Schafer is trans, and to see, especially given certain news in the gaming sphere, Stay Mad Hose, Bridget's trans.
That's been fun to watch.
I love the one. If I wanted to trick straight men, I'd sell NFTs. But no, letting a trans actor play a cis character is amazing, and more anime companies should be doing that. And also, let trans people play trans people. Stop.
I mean, we had the breakout in Tokyo Godfathers. I think it was like 2 years ago.
I mean,
I did not realize that Ruka's actress was trans when I watched the movie. It was not something that even crossed my mind.
yeah, also...
I didn't either. I looked it up afterwards.
Yeah, also shout out, we are not talking about them yet, but shout out to, the lead, to places like, for like, Jujutsu Kaisen for having a trans lead, for Aoshi, and the Requiem of the Rose King and Parallel World Pharmacy all have trans leads. Let's start with Kamishin because he's the best he's the second best character here.
He's the second best. Yeah, he's the best male character by far.
Yeah, let's be
And
real.
also-
Shinobu's got the appeal of like white bread dipped in milk.
He's our Otome Pro tag.
Yeah, pretty
he's gonna
pretty
be
much.
He's gonna be our
Kamishin.
Edward Cullen for the night.
Ladies, go for
That's an appeal to some
go
people.
for a Kamishin in your life.
Oh my god, Kamishin's the best.
Kamishin is such a good boy.
Well, I think you two just explained the problem right there. He's not broken, so you can't fix him. So what's the appeal?
He's funny.
He's funny, and he's dedicated, and he's driven, and he's willing to get interested in the same things I am. Listen, we don't want to have to fix every guy. When we say I want to fix him, we mean like small personality quirks like murder. But look,
Just tiny little things.
Ryunosuke Akutagawa has murdered people, but I know that man could cook and do the dishes. Osamu Dazai would not. He'd put milk in Coke.
That sounds... ouch. That sounds less like I can fix him and more like I can salvage part of him.
You're not wrong, but...
But Kamishin is a good boy, and he has a good voice actor, despite what you said in the other podcast, Noah.
No,
he
no,
wasn't...
he's-
okay,
in
to
that
be
mo-
fair...
okay.
To be fair, I will say this. The lead in Weathering With You sucks as a character.
I liked him.
He was
Wait,
terrible.
hold on.
No.
The character or the actor?
The character.
Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, all
that
right.
character's...
Like, not even God himself could act through that paper bag.
I mean,
I liked Weathering With You. I like Weathering... I still will die on the hill that I like Weathering With You better than Your Name.
Okay, now we are
That's-
going to actually fist fight.
okay, but break it up.
But no,
Brandon Eggman is better in this. You're right, he's better in this because he gets to be goofier.
he gets
And
to
because
actually
he's
be a
younger-
character.
Yeah, he gets to be a fun character who doesn't really impact the plot a whole lot. And I have
Yet
a
he
huge issue
does.
with
Yet he does.
Okay. How does he impact the central conflict of
He
the
helped
plot?
save Kay and Tomo. Fuck off.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, he helped identify where they
Also,
are.
B, I think he helped in the sense of really helping Suzu out of her shell. Because he never felt really weird about just approaching Suzu like a bunch of other people did. Because remember, when Suzu eventually talks to Ruka and they have this kind of moment, she talks about how no one likes to go near her because they think she's all mopey. But Kamishin never felt like that about her. To Kamishin, she was just another person. Also, B, I will not lie that train scene between Kamishin, Ruka, and Suzu is one of the funniest things I've seen all year.
Oh my god, it's
Oh, yeah.
so awkward.
It's fucking...
But it's so real. Like it's like the enjoyable romantic misunderstanding. I agree. I got a chuckle out of that.
Just the fact that it's done with like nods, mm-hms, and just shaking the head, and then they're like, "We like Belle," and Suzu's like, "Oh fuck." But like, I reason I like Kamishin is that, like, in the movie, I don't think he needed to be as impactful on the plot. He helped to kind of, like, expand Suzu's world outside of what Belle could do. Because at the end of the day, Belle only exists online. Belle is Suzu, but she also isn't Suzu. And I think that the fact that Kamishin is just, you know, a nice guy is there. And the fact that it also, I think, helps to alleviate the idea of there being a really unneeded love triangle. So,
Yeah, that helped
I liked
a
his
lot.
performance.
Yeah, I loved him. It's so nice to hear him in a role that was more animated because, yes, the guy in Weathering with You was just like, I have a gun. Oh no, my girlfriend is up in the sky. I still really liked it, and I still really liked his acting in it, but, like, he's better here.
My question, I still have a
yeah.
question in that movie, which is how did somebody in Japan get a gun?
He just runs across it. Like, someone accidentally threw it away. They do the same thing in Odd Taxi, too. Some gun was hidden and random person just digs it up. He got the ultimate loot drop, basically.
Man, I watched this Detective Conan movie, about how hard it was to get a gun into Japan, and now, like, Weathering with You has lost all meaning.
Anyway.
But no, he's great, but oh my god, Shinobu, why? I'm sorry, you guys. Like, it's Danny Mendoza. Like, I know you probably guys haven't seen The Good Place, but I watched all of it, and I don't finish things very often. And, like, Manny Jacinto in The Good Place is, like, fucking off the wall. He's, like, supposed to be the comic relief. He's literally a himbo. Like, he's
Really?
Stupid as fuck.
Oh, he's also in fucking Top Gun Maverick.
He is?
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but yeah, he's in the new Top Gun movie.
God, I didn't even recognize him. Maybe he's a better actor than I'm giving him credit for right now.
Wop, wop, wop.
Actually,
Well, what
no,
you're
because he
describing
was
with-
really bad in this movie. I'm sorry. Like, Shinobu, I know is
okay.
supposed to be, like, the stoic guy and, like, doesn't talk a lot, but damn, like, he just... It was just so flat. Like, what happened?
Yeah, it is possible to have a stoic character without the monotone, like, like, dead inside kind of vibe
That's
to
the
it.
thing, is he is by far, I think, the worst performance in the movie.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I'm sorry, Mr. Danny Mendoza from Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars! You guys gotta watch The Good Place. Like, it will fuck you up, but it is so amazing.
There's an entire list of, like, schlocky CW programming you've recommended that I will never get around to.
Well, this was on, like, ABC. And has
that's
Kristen
even
Bell in
worse.
it. And Ted Danson. Like,
Well, that means it's schlocky CW fare with a budget.
oh my god.
No, it's
anyway,
not. The Good Place is fucking great.
The Good Place is fucking amazing. But it's just kind of like what happened? Like, honestly, like, how did it get from casting to here? Like, I just don't understand
Like,
it.
I get Shinobu is supposed to kind of be, like, that big silent dude. Do you want to know what the best part of his performance was?
When he wasn't talking?
No, at the end of the movie, it was like, oh, thank God, I can finally ease up. He's like, I can unclench.
It just hurt. It hurt me because, like, oh god, I've seen him do great things. And, like, this was not it.
I mean, is it just me, or was the intention of his character almost supposed to be a red herring? Like, you expect him to be the Beast for the bulk of the movie.
I never thought
then
that
it's-
he
No,
was the
I thought he
Beast.
was the entire time.
Oh, really?
It's-
I never thought that.
Yeah, well, because it would be very bizarre for them to make the hidden identity of the Beast be a character who we haven't seen yet. Like, that's not how whodunits work. And lo and behold, it was a character who we barely knew anything about. And just because he had a brief news segment cameo at 20 minutes into the movie doesn't make it well
Yes,
established.
it does.
Like,
Fuck off.
It would have been much more better set up, and honestly, it would have been expected. But what's wrong with being expected? If they had made Shinobu the Beast
I don't think
character in this
Shinobu
movie-
would have been a good Beast.
No.
Well, okay, not with the way he was written, no. Like, if they had intended for him to be the
Even
Beast,
if he
they would've
was,
given
I
more
don't
of the
think it would have worked based on the way, like, based on the whole fact that eventually you find out it was Shinobu who ended up saving Suzu from diving in after her mom. See, for me, the thing that would have been a better twist is if Ruka was the girl that her mom saved.
I thought the Beast was Suzu's dad for most of it.
That would have been a plot.
Not gonna lie. I was like, oh, he's never here. What is he spending all his time doing?
Literally
Oh my
torturing
God.
people in bar fights.
Thought it was a freaking superhero secret identity thing.
That was who I thought it was. I thought it was Suzu's dad the whole time, and I mean,
You
I
know-
didn't hate it that it kind of came out of left field. Like they did set
know
it
what?
up, but I wasn't paying that much attention until the second watch.
I don't think it was that well set up. So I don't think it was that you weren't paying well attention.
I disagree.
You can kill me. You can kill me, Megan. It's okay, Megan. I've got a backup life in the closet, but
I was also sobbing
Shinobu-
uncontrollably through most of this, so.
Yeah, I mean, Shinobu's inclusion in this, again, felt very much like we're hiding who the Beast is by having this character who is supposed to be that kind of personality. And it doesn't matter of ending, because he doesn't hook up with anyone by the end of the
Nobody hooks up with anybody!
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Ruka and
Well,
Ruka
and
and
Kamishin
Kamishin
get together.
I thought they did hook up at the end of the movie, or they were like
did-
in
they
the
did.
in the process of hooking up.
And then shit went
They
down.
were, because they realized they had a thing for each other. So
and then
that
shit
was,
happened.
yeah,
and
that-
then the
that-
plot happened. I want to say, though, I really like Hunter Schafer as Ruka.
Yes.
I think she definitely
I mean-
gives the peppy, like, girlfriend voice really well. And I would like to point out, thank God this movie did not have her and Suzu be bitchy towards each other.
I enjoyed that also.
that didn't seem like the kind of personality they wanted to go with. There were enough jealous bitches in the cast that they didn't need to make Ruka one of them.
Yeah, and I really like Hunter's performance because it's definitely upbeat and stuff. And I think that confession scene, she nails the awkward teenage girl.
Yes, that's what I
It
what I wrote down.
Yeah.
I was like, the awkward parts hit better than the happy popular parts.
And what helps is that 3 of these 4 actors are teenagers themselves, or at least they're like, I think at this point some of them may be in like their early 20s, but still closer to high school age than casting, more grown adults, so that genuine awkwardness that is really fun to watch comes off a lot better, because that's just closer to the age of the characters. And I do like that Hunter's pitch is like, it's like a slightly lower pitch than some of the other like shrill girls who are like gossiping behind our people's backs, because that gives the character of Ruka more of a confident sense. She's more
women have
in
texture
control.
to their voice.
It is. I love that texture. I love that like almost like crackle to the voice that comes about when you've got a layer of personality that comes across, even from saying very simple dialogue.
Also, I wonder if she has a D for voice because she plays saxophone.
That doesn't. Your pitch of voice has
But
nothing to
lung
do with the instrument
capacity.
you play.
Anyway, I'm being stupid.
She doesn't play the tuba.
Never mind. You still have to blow. There's like a specific way you would blow into it too. Anyways,
That's
I
true.
used to play French
And-
horn.
Oh, buddy! I played the baritone.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
Let's
I'm
hear it for
sorry.
low brass section.
I'm sorry. I laughed so hard. It's like there's a specific way you have to blow.
What?
I'm having a dirty mind thought. Please move on.
You know what? That's fitting, because you know who else has a dirty mind? I think Hiro has a dirty mind.
Hiro wants
because
to fuck
she
her old
has
man
the-
science teacher.
Man, she's the
That
real
was so-
MVP.
Why do all of these anime? Because I'm watching Cardcaptor Sakura just right now.
Okay,
just for
at
fun,
least
and there's so
Ruka's
many
like
characters-
not a 5th grader.
That's true. That it's better than older high school or elementary school teacher. You want to have lunch with a 5th grader? No, I think they're 4th grade. It's still too young. Too young.
Anyway,
But it doesn't matter, because Jessica is having way too much fun, and I particularly love the part where she finds out that Shinobu confessed to Suzu when they were children, and her response is, "That doesn't count. You were babies."
oh no, my favorite
Like she-
reaction from her is when Kamishin says that they're both competing, and she goes, "You and I are not the same."
Oh, every line she's got. Is
Oh yeah,
cool.
no, like her actress is chewing the scenery.
Oh, it's amazing. And like you can tell that she's more seasoned because like she even has a more cartoony voice. And I've said this before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds more cartoony. It's not a bad thing. Cuz this movie really needs levity bad.
Especially
Oh, yeah, we
when
got
she's
it
in
all
her,
from
her
Hero.
U avatar form.
Yes. And like the contrast between Jessica's voice and then the girl who plays Suzu's voice, that's like top notch. That's like super different best friends forever. Like I love that
the
point
part
of
where
contrast
she,
there.
I love the part where Suzu is being the tea holder, and they're talking to the lady who's the baby, and is like, "Everybody is abusing me," and she's like, "As if," and she's like pulling off the disguise as if she's a member of the Turtle Club.
I might not turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Turtle, turtle, turtle.
Just, I love Jessica DeCio's performance. It is so energetic and lively, but at the same time, it also has those moments where it needs to be down to earth and stuff. Like the part where she's complaining about her mom, and then she realizes that she's doing it in front of Suzu and is like, "I am so sorry."
The ultimate, I'm being
Dick
a dick,
moment.
aren't I? Moment.
Okay, but also you can definitely hear her more than anybody except for maybe Christina Valenzuela as Peggy Sue during A Million Miles Away when they're all uniting together. You can hear her voice cracking the most. Because she's like ugly fucking sobbing like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad that, like, this feels like the performance where they would have gotten the A-list celebrity, because it's the one who gets to have the most fun, so you'd like, let's get, like, a famous comedian,
No,
you know?
I'm glad they didn't do that.
And
Thank
you're
God.
right, I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. Because this needed a voice actress, someone who can only use their voice to convey the energy and the mania, and it was so great to listen to.
God, I love the part where she's just like, I love her first text message. "Don't worry, I got you, ho." And then she's like, she's doing that, "Ah ha ha," and then her parents yell at her.
I told you not to come into the computer room, or whatever it was.
She's got like a fucking business going in here.
But it's legitimate because they donate all of the earnings to charity.
Hero, the real MVP. Haha, the hero. Get it? Haha.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Pshh.
Oh, I get it.
Cool. Cool. Jason Mendoza.
Jacksonville
That's what I
Jaguars.
take away from all of this. Just go out and watch more. Go watch The Good Place. I think it's streaming on.
I think it's
Hulu
I think it's
right
on.
now.
It's on
Peacock?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Okay. All right. Long story short, we spend this whole podcast just giving you recommendations for other things to listen
Yeah,
to. We're bad at our job.
don't watch Belle. Go watch The Good Place.
No,
Close
watch
enough.
Wolf.
Do watch Close Enough.
Gossip Girl, not the new one.
Well, I think we can. Have we gotten all our thoughts out about the best friend squad here?
I'm good.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
I know we don't agree on why the characters were put in this movie, but I think we can all agree that, you know, for the range that we got here of personalities, each person is matched to their character, except possibly Shinobu, and that may have just been a wrong actor for the role kind of thing. Because it sounds like his most famous role is the complete opposite of Shinobu.
Yes, 1000%.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's talk about our second to last group here, as we are chugging along to get to characters who you don't realize are important until the last 20 minutes of the
Fuck
movie.
you know the entire time.
I mean, maybe you did, but I didn't, because there were so many. Okay, we're going to talk about Kei, and we're going to talk about his brother Tomo. And these two are important because Kei, as it turns out, is the Beast. He is the mysterious dragon character who has been persecuted by the denizens of Yu but we find out about who he is. He is a young boy who
He's like a
is a
14-year-old.
survivor of domestic abuse. I couldn't quite get a gauge on the ages, but okay. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like either early middle school or middle school level, but either way, the reason why he took out the persona of the Beast is because he is protecting his brother Tomo from their abusive father, that piece of shit who we talked about earlier in this episode. So both of them got to be cast, and we're gonna talk about one of the quirks of NYAV Post dubs that they like to do, which is if there is a child character, they are going to cast child actors in it. And you know what that means? We're going to talk about two actors who you've never heard of before.
Bite me.
Probably.
I've actually heard of one of them.
I mean, I have two, but only because of a very popular show that they're in, and that's the only thing that they're in. So anyways, who are these actors? Kay is voiced by Paul Castro Jr., and Tomo is voiced by Bentley Griffin. Now, Paul Castro Jr. Has parts in a couple of different anime that you may have heard of before. In fact, he's much more of an anime person these days. He played the role of Rikyu in High Rise Invasion. He played both characters of Forseti and Abel in Record of Ragnarok. And I think this is currently ongoing or just ended recently. I don't know. He played the character of Allegro in Vampire in the Garden.
It was dropped all at once on Netflix.
Okay, thank you. So that is currently all available to view right now. But the one who I know is Bentley Griffin because there's this little show on Nickelodeon called The Loud House. Have you guys ever heard of it before?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know that the lead character is a boy who has 10 sisters, right?
Yes,
Yes.
we watched the movie.
All right. Well, in that movie, the character of Lincoln Loud, the one boy in the family, had a different voice actor than who is currently voicing him because the Loud House cycles through actors for Lincoln Loud because they use actual children, so he's got to continuously sound as old as the character. Once they get a little older and the voice changes, you got to change it out. It's like Arthur, basically. And currently, we are on our 7th Lincoln Loud, and you'll never guess who voices him. It's Bentley Griffin!
Yay.
And that is literally the only thing that it shows up when I research. Like, I couldn't even find, theater performances, so he's very new to the voice acting game, but props, he's in a Oscar-nominated movie and a award-winning Nickelodeon cartoon. So I feel like this area is going to get a little contentious, not because of the voice acting, but because of the roles of the characters. So can we just stick to the performances themselves for the time
Sure.
being?
I actually really want to talk about how much I actually like Bentley's performance as Tomo, because
Okay.
it's so soft and broken. And honestly, I don't know if he's still traumatized from his mother passing away and how abusive his father is, or if Tomo is neurodivergent. Because the reason that it's so hard to watch the scene where the dad yells at him is because I don't know if Tomo is processing what's happening. Like, I don't...
You think he might be compartmentalizing
Or
it just
he
to
just
survive?
doesn't have the ability to understand it. And based on how he talks and, this is one of the reasons why I say the whole, it's Tomo and Kay the whole time works, is that one of the earliest parts of the movie, when the dragon first shows up, is all of the kids talking about the dragon. And about how the dragon is really cool. And how he helps them. And one of the people you see on that is Tomo. And he talks about him, and just kind of it's kind of clear that, Tomo doesn't know how to speak to other people, but Kay is right in the background watching him. And when it comes to finding the dragon's castle, it's the angel who does it. And it's the angel who's the first person to reach out to Belle in her loneliness, and you. He's the first person to follow her.
True.
He's the first person to, in a sense, connect and believe in her. It's kind of in a weird way of I knew Belle before Belle was popular. he's the one person who saw a lost soul like himself in her, and thus brought her to a place that probably was safe so he could show that to Kay. Because Kay probably doesn't feel comfortable going out with other people. And from what it like, time passes really fast in this movie.
Yes, it does.
So it's probably assumed that, like, it's been a couple of months before the dragon shows up to when Belle is doing that big performance. I actually think that the reason that Kay ever becomes the dragon is because someone was bullying Tomo and Mew. Because remember, Tomo streams only to one person.
Yeah.
So it's likely that Kay started doing that to protect him. I think that the twist with them works amazing, and I have more to say about that when we get to Suzu. And then Paul Castro Jr. does a fantastic job as Kay and the dragon. He has the beast growling down, he has that vulnerability and pushing away down, but God, that scene where he starts screaming, I'll help you, we talk to your dad, that was so fucking raw. Because I think that's a scene that a lot of people who like to nitpick the thing is, well, why didn't they go to other people for help first? It's like right in the face that Kay says that they tried, and no one believes them.
I mean, that's a common motif in a lot of domestic abuse anything, is that no one helped them even when they reached out. And it's also emblematic of how we have a victim culture process in the world, where if someone needs help, we blame the person who was being victimized, not the person doing the actual abusing.
Exactly. So it's like Justin chasing him down. The dragon is probably not taking out his aggressions in the right way.
He crashed a concert.
But did he crash a concert because he wanted to, or because Justin and the hit squad were already victimizing him for being a bad person? Because he didn't fit in with the rest of how you went along about doing things.
It's not, I don't think the narrative does a good job of making us sympathize with him to begin with, because what's the first thing that we see the Beast doing?
It is disrupting Belle's concert.
No, well, it is that, but he's attacking other individuals. Like, we've got an entire arena that is supposed to be just for a musical concert, and he barges in, attacking, massive fighters, and needs to be taken down because he's disrupting this event going on. So, I'm just saying, from a narrative perspective,
maybe
that
it's
was
a little messy, but by the time you get to the end, I think it works.
I love how I said, let's focus on the voice acting and talk about the...
And I did talk about Kay and Tomo's
later.
voice acting. I think that, like I said, there's a lot of vulnerability put into both of them, and I especially think that, that Brentley does a really good, especially Brentley, being able to get Tomo across so well for a character who is not... I like their performances. I think I did a good enough thing. It's hard to talk about their performances without putting context to why they are acting like this.
So, Gigi, do you have, I suppose, a similar reaction to just the performances of these two?
What just happened? Hold on.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. I just heard something drop.
Megan, are you still here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Some weird noise just happened.
Yeah. It's like when the call drops, but the timer's still going.
Yeah, no, I'm still recording. I think it was just somebody's phone vibrated.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was buying my Dress Up Darling acrylic stands on AmiAmi. Let me hit this pre-order button real fast. Fuck my life.
Are you getting the Marin Nendo?
Yes, I just bought 4 Marin ones. Oh, you mean the Marin Nendo?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I pre-ordered her like a couple days ago.
Anyway.
What's it like to have expendable income?
It's called I Pay For It When It Comes in 2023.
Anyway.
I have no expendable income right now. I can't even pay my car payment, so we won't talk about that.
No, sorry.
So, wait, hold on. I just lumped them together. Which one is the dragon guy? Is that Kay?
Yep. So that's Paul, and his younger brother is Bentley. It's Bentley, not Brentley.
Okay. So, little Bentley, right? Bentley. He's
Yep.
Angel, he baby.
Streaming for one.
He's baby. He was very cute. It made me happy. It's cute and sad. Like, the sad part didn't make me happy, but he sounded like baby, which, again, is another NYAV post casting trope, which I get behind, because I like it when they cast the babies.
Oh yeah.
And then when Kay, even when he was the dragon, like, you could hear the softer tone and, like, the vulnerability behind it, which is just like the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. So I thought that they both did a really good job. I mean, I've never heard these people in anything before. So I just, I really liked how they kind of, like, picked it up. And they're kind of like, I guess, like, examples of how you don't need to be a really famous actor in order to do good acting in an anime movie. So
Absolutely.
it really, you know, they did really great jobs with the small parts that they had. And like I said, like, on the first time, oh, that's why my microphone is being weird. It changed the, oh God, this whole recording is gonna suck. Sorry, it just, I was like, why are my levels so high? And it changed my percentage to 100%.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that will do
Yeah,
it.
fuck my life.
I mean-
so sorry.
We'll fix it in
Yeah,
post.
fix it in post. But I think they both did really good jobs, and I kind of wish that, and I don't, is this the G Kids thing, or is this an NYAV post thing where they feel the need to cast television and movie actors in
I don't
voice acting
know.
roles?
It feels like an NYAV thing because they're pulling from a different talent pool.
Yeah.
Than your Funimation. I'm sorry, your Crunchyroll, your Funimation, your Bang Zoom.
Like, maybe because they're in the union?
Yeah,
isn't
it is. This is a
NYAV
union
post
dub.
unionized?
But Promare was also union, and that had a lot of
Anime
actors.
actors.
It did, but they're also all in the union.
Yeah, and you can have an
Not all.
all-union dub with a bunch of people who do voiceover work. Who
Yeah,
just
yeah.
do anime
But-
voiceover work. We call
Right,
them a lot of
right.
Netflix dubs.
I'm conflicted. Oh my God, it like peaked me up all the way again. Why is it doing this? Go back down to where I put you.
We'll just lower it when we level out the audio in editing.
Sorry, it
In
just
fact,
pissed me off because I literally it's doing it on its own now. Go fuck yourself, Audacity. You suck ass.
You know, you brought up a good point that I didn't even consider was we had a trend in Ghibli dubs back when Disney was, releasing those in the early 2000s where there'd be kids in the dub, and so they would often get like an actor from their pool to market it. You had that in
But they'd be famous.
My Neighbor's
They'd be famous kids.
Totoro.
And
Right,
even
right, you'd
then,
have,
you could argue that
Devea
sometimes
Chase,
it
you'd
didn't
have-
always work.
Right. Well, most
That's
of them
exactly
didn't
my point.
work, to be
They did-
fair.
Except for David Chase,
Right, because
she worked.
No, she did
Yes,
not.
she did.
No, I did not like Devea Chase in Spirited Away. Not because she's a bad actress. I loved her in Lilo and Stitch. It's because she was misdirected in that movie. And
That's
we
not
could have
her
a whole
fault.
episode
That's
about that.
the director's fault.
No, it is the director's fault, but that doesn't mean the performance was good. Like, there was a good performance in there, but we didn't get to hear it. So you can't say, oh, this is a good actor, because we didn't get to hear the good performance.
Well, anyway, I'm glad that the babies were good babies. The end.
Yeah, I was honestly... I was surprised about how they, because I expected that the Beast's actor was going to be to a character who was playing like a teenager or a high school student.
I thought there were going to be two different voice actors. I thought there was going to be one who did all the dragon parts and one who was the kid. And so when I saw afterwards that it was the same actor, I was like completely surprised by it.
It was surprising because I can hear the pitch in both of them, but the intensity of like shouting at Belle in the castle scene or the sound effects from fighting and all of that coming out of the same character who is playing a reserved middle school, I'm presuming, kid, is quite the range. And I'm not surprised that Paul has been getting more consistent work in more recent dubbed anime, because he's definitely got a quality that needs to be shared with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely the characters contrast off each other well, and I don't have any problems with them. Even though if I was writing this movie, I would have wove them into the narrative a lot more, so that it wasn't like a twist at the end that was only partially set up throughout. But you know who's not a twist ending that's only revealed in the very last part of the movie? Our lead character. Are you guys ready to talk about the star herself?
Yes.
Let's talk about the original VTuber. No, not the original, but the star VTuber.
I was gonna say,
of
Kizuna
this
Ai
movie.
is gonna come for your ass.
Right, she is the real MVP.
Not when she's done selling NFTs.
No, she's not.
She does NFTs. I'm sorry.
No, not my Kizuna Ai.
Well, I don't think Belle is going to sell NFTs, so maybe we should switch loyalties here, which is good because Belle is the secret identity of Suzu Naoto, and as we alluded to when we started recording, the actor here, I'm going to read you off their entire credits list right now, everything they've been in. And that was it. The voice actress for Belle. Let's give it up for our voice actress Kylie McNeil, who is luckily she got her name on the cover because she has done no other acting work. She's a singer before this movie came out. She's still a singer, and this is hopefully going to lead to more of a reputation because she, without spoiling it, she knocks it out of the park in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a range of emotions that Suzu has to perform. She's got to be hushed at the beginning. She's got to be reserved. She's got to pretend like she can't sing in one moment where she's like on a bridge and then she gets so anxiety-ridden that she actually throws up.
Yeah, that scene fucking hurts me, especially when I realized what song she was singing.
Same. That scene, like, hit me in a very bad place.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. It's amusing that got the emotion it did out of you. I might be a little more cynical in that I didn't cry throughout watching this movie, but I'm sorry, I didn't ugly cry, but I did tear up at some of the song performances. They were so beautifully animated, so packed with
God, A Million
just
Miles
really good
Away
mixing.
is a fucking number.
They're all just really good numbers, and it sounds like that was the impetus to make this movie in the first place. There's a behind-the-scenes bonus interview with Hosoda on the Blu-ray that goes into why he made this movie, and part of it was imagining what his daughter will be like when she gets older and interacts with the internet world, but it was also trying to make a musical, like an American Broadway-style musical.
You know what? It worked.
And this is how they did it. What?
That this is an American-style Broadway musical, and I loved it.
But is it really? Like,
you know what? It kind of is,
a...
but it is, but it isn't, and I don't care.
No, I mean, I'm not criticizing it. I'm saying that it's not the kind of musical where the numbers, like, advance the plot. It's like a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, where the show kind of stops for the music, and it's great music, but it does stop the plot before we can keep the story
Except
going.
for A Million Miles Away. That does not stop the plot.
Okay, you get one showstopper
Honestly,
that
both
actually is relevant to the plot.
Technically it and Lend Me Your Voice, both plot relevant.
Yes, but the actual performance of Lend Me Your Voice, is that the one that Tomo is singing to an audience of one?
Yes, that's how they find him.
Yeah, so the song is plot relevant, but the actual performance, like the grand performance of it,
No,
I'm getting into the semantics argument
no.
here.
Also, because that's when they put the rose on her,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
eventually
yeah,
it's the petal of the rose that gives away the castle.
Right, I'm sorry. So the performance itself has plot relevancy. I'm thinking more in terms of like Alan Menken musicals where like the song itself, like we've advanced a few plot points by the end of it.
I guess.
I'm sorry, we're supposed to be arguing about why Kylie kicks ass in this movie.
I mean, yeah.
So, let's imagine the alternative world where they got like a named, like where they got a Taylor Swift or
Oh,
a Lady
God.
Gaga.
How about
to fill this role.
Zendaya?
God, they would not be able to pull this off.
No, definitely not.
It's like, and look, I know nobody likes the quote-unquote live-action Lion King.
Ugh. Chris made me watch that the other day again.
Okay,
What?
okay. So let me do this. I've had this discussion before with Beth and Katie. Okay. So we were having a discussion once because I went down the fucking Broadway musical hole that I do every so often.
As everyone is meant
You
to
know
do.
I should. So I was talking to her. We were talking to them about it, and I was like, "Look, there is a live action version of The Lion King. It's on Broadway."
Yes.
And we were talking
Of
about
course.
how Heather Headley, you could have put Heather Headley in the live action Lion King over Beyonce and gotten a better performance, but you could not let Beyonce sing Heather Headley's Shadowlands and get the same performance out of it. No disrespect to
Well, no.
Beyonce, but Heather Headley, you a queen. Yes, Megan also does like the soundtrack to Aida.
Really?
Yes, the opening song to that is one of my favorite opening songs in Broadway.
I mean, it's got. I'll agree, it's got catchy songs. I never gravitated towards it overall. I guess.
Oh no, I love the Lion King soundtrack much more, but Aida is also fairly top notch.
Well, I feel like that's a stacked competition.
There's a lot of really good musicals, so but no, I think to me the reason why Kylie nails this is that she does have the natural singing talent to carry the movie, but she also has that vulnerability and edge, that vulnerable heart to get Suzu's life across, and that awkward texture to her voice, because she doesn't sound like just a moe anime cutesy girl. She has crackle and she has uncertainty. She sounds very unpolished, because Suzu isn't a polished person. And I really want to compliment that scene on the bridge where she tries to sing A Million Miles Away and ultimately vomits on herself. Because it's what that song represents is so much closure to her character. And that's why I love that entire... That's why I really like that entire last half of the movie from the beginning of that song onward. Because, to me, that song represents something that would never have happened in a Western film. That, in that moment, Suzu shed her internet identity and the ultimate move of being vulnerable for another human being and put herself out on the line to sing what is, essentially, her goodbye to her dead mother. That is the moment where she realizes why her mother jumped in the river. It became about more than herself. And those lyrics just, for one, fucking amazing adaptation. And then how the crowd brings her back so that she can do the finale, and she's so no longer as vulnerable and torn down and putting her heart out. Her heart has been put back together because she finally has this closure, and you just have Kylie still kind of being unpolished and vulnerable, but finally saying, just sing with your heart out, because someone's going to always be there for you. And I think in a day and age, especially with the three of us, because we're all in our 30s, we all remember the day and age where your parents told you never give out any information on the internet, someone's gonna fucking kill you.
I never got
I
that
did!
talk.
My mom thought
I'd my kid.
Steph was a serial killer before I met her in person.
That's funny because I remember before you guys came over to my place after Youmacon 2016, Steph's mom searched my identity up because she also thought I would be a serial killer.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens in America. But like even beyond that, like think about how dystopic a lot of American films on the internet are. Looking at you, Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One.
Oh, you actually watched that?
I value my self-worth.
Fair cover.
I love the fact that the ending of this movie is about the power and connections that the internet can bring you. That even one person reaching out, no matter if they are, in a sense, a million miles away, will come and save you. And I
Sure.
love, that's what I loved about this movie, was it a bit messy? Yes, but the fact of it is that mess created something beautiful. And in this Beauty and the Beast tale, that's one of the other things I love, is that she hooks up with nobody in the end. And that the love that she shows the Beast is purely platonic.
It
is.
Yes.
It's platonic.
100%.
It's...
Okay.
The love they have for each other is through their shared trauma. They both lost their moms. They both became other people to protect, in a sense, to protect someone they loved and themselves from the pain of it. And it took meeting each other to cope with it. And I think Kylie's performance gets that across so well.
It definitely helps to have that, as you said, unpolished performance of someone who has not gone through, years of voice acting seminars to scrub away the amateur elements, because those are really what helps make this character. And in fact, it reminds me of the very first Mamoru Hosoda movie in his filmography, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, because that dub, the lead character, was played by also a newbie. It was played by Emily Hurst in her first voiceover performance. And it also had that vulnerable, fun, youthful teenage girl voice to it that benefited from having someone who isn't as seasoned in voice acting. And I have no idea exactly how they, picked Kylie out of the crowd. I've looked up interviews to find out, what the process was like. And it really just sounds like it benefited from having someone with no clout, no awards, and almost no connections. And yet it made the performance even stronger.
Well, and here, I don't think that Kylie's performance of Suzu is perfect. As somebody who, this is my quote-unquote job, to listen to a lot of dubs for a living, I think her best moments come when she's singing and when she's being awkward. But, there came a point, and this was on, my third rewatch, where I was like, is it too awkward? Is it too, it's kind of a lot when she's freaking out, and she's freaking out all the time. She's melodramatic and freaking out all the time. And I'm like, is it working or is it too much? Because when she's quiet and awkward or really sad and barely able to get words out, or when she's singing, both sides of the two extremities in this coin, I think she does a phenomenal job. But then there's the part in the middle where I'm like, is it too much?
I mean, it's definitely the way it was written, where she's got things to freak out about that are different from each other. She's freaking out about people trying to figure out her identity, which I love that scene where she's kind of she's panic-stricken about people trying to figure out who I am, isn't that a bad thing? And the amateur shriekiness of it is really good. But then you've got, like you were saying, freaking out about the girls are mad that, oh god, Shinobu would dare to give Suzu any attention. And then we've got to freak out about, the love triangle she thinks she's stuck in the middle of. So yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of her
I do like
panickiness
that
in there.
when she freaks out about people criticizing her, and Hinaka's like, but the other half likes you, and it's like, but I can only focus on the negative. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah, that's me too. That's why I have a very large emotional connection to this movie, because I also panic and freak out about fucking everything. And then I'm like, oh my god, like what people are gonna dox me? They're gonna dox this dragon dude? Like what's going on? Like I have a very, very real emotional connection with lots of this movie, and for different ways than what you were talking about, Megan. And I think Kylie is really great in it. I just I don't want to be singing every single praise down from the sky above, when I think that as an actor, if she wants to do more of this in the future, there are definite places where there could be another place to look, or another place to go in her vocal range, so that all the panicky and everything is a little bit more varied, or there's different levels to it other than level 200 panic all the time. But
I could definitely foresee.
Yeah, where she really shines is the singing and in the quiet parts. And just from watching her interviews at the bonus features, I can feel that she's very passionate about singing, but I don't know her. So I don't know if she has a lot to talk about otherwise, but she seemed kind of quiet or nervous, and that's where I think her personality kind of shone through her performance in this character.
Yeah, I could definitely see her going on to have a career as the singing voice of other characters. In some Disney movies, you have the actor for the speaking roles, and then a different actor or actress for the singing performances. I can see that.
And I'm so happy that they got the same actress to sing as they did to act. I don't think it would have worked any other way.
That seems to be a quirk in a lot of dubbing as well. It's if they're going to go to the effort of casting someone in the English dub that is also supposed to be a singer, they make sure that the actor themselves can also sing. Which is good. And that's not always the case in Japan either.
I'm still baffled to this day why they did not let Matthew Broderick sing for himself in The Lion King. The man can sing.
Oh, man.
Look, Megan. We've long established that it's late capitalism Disney. None of their decisions are right.
So
okay, the only good decision they've made in the last 10 years is greenlighting The Ghost and Molly McGee.
Wow,
That's
the
it.
Owl
Everything
House
else
had something to
has
say.
just been so far.
Owl House.
I do not dislike Owl House. I don't love it as much as everybody else does. I don't have something that I can latch onto because it's got the same issue I had with Little Witch Academia. I'm sorry about the human girl comes to a magical setting, learns
the
magic.
The mom looks like Ryoko from Tenchi Mio. Why do you need anything else?
I'm sorry.
And the Owl House has
not
balls
basic
to
enough.
actually be gay, unlike Little Witch Academia.
This is true.
That is true. That is a good thing. I do love the Wendy Malick, and I do love the balls to actually be gay. That is very good. But that's nothing to do with this. Honestly, when you started mentioning about the live-action Lion King adaptation, I thought you were going to start talking about the live-action Beauty and the Beast adaptation.
That was
No,
terrible.
and also B. Matthew Broderick isn't even Simba in that. That's Donald Glover.
But the reason I was going to counter was that you all say that nobody likes the Lion King or the Beauty and the Beast live-action adaptation. I've got a wife in the other room who has made me watch the live-action Beauty and the Beast Disney adaptation 25
I'm
times.
so
She
sorry.
loves that adaptation.
I'm so sorry.
That's grounds for
She loves that
It's
adaptation.
fucking terrible. I'm sorry, Jenny.
I mean, she's not going to hear this.
Anyway,
But,
back to your regularly scheduled program, because I did not think this episode was going to be this long.
Yeah, we're gonna trim this
We
down
could
a
watch
little
Belle
bit, but it's probably
twice
gonna
in
be
the
2
amount
hours.
of time that it took to do this podcast.
I need to pee.
Could we? Wait, how many minutes?
Go
is
pee.
Anyway.
Look at it.
Let's take a break. Megan, go pee.
No, I want to finish this.
All right, well, let's end then.
Yeah, I think we've talked
Well, Noah,
about
do you
everything
wanna-
with
do you
the main
wanna-
cast.
Do your thoughts, or oh yeah, you did them.
Well, I did my thoughts on Kylie's performance overall, and I've got a lot of issues with the writing of the movie, but that really doesn't have anything to do with the dub. The dub kind of keyed into the tropes that were needed for the actors, and honestly, they did not change the story in the way that it's written. They credit to them. They were faithful in adapting the story beats and the emotions, and especially the heartbreaking moments as well. So I got everything I needed to say about the dub out there. I think we're ready to move on to final thoughts, as long as we can keep it under 20
Yeah,
minutes.
I've said my piece about how much I like the movie and how much I like the ending of this movie. And if you want to ask me more, I will send you a nice
in this essay,
on it.
I will.
Oh man, if you think in this essay I will about Belle is wild, wait until you give you the essay that furries and VTubers are the same thing.
You're not wrong.
Wait. I have to sit down and process that. Go ahead and talk. I'm going to think about this for a minute.
Anyway, furries are cool and you should not be mean to furries. I will personally come fight you as a furry. Surprise, motherfuckers. No, I love this movie. I thought the dub was great. This is by far, I think, my second favorite G-Kids dub as of the last couple years. I think a lot of the cast does a lot of right. I think the movie does a lot of things right, and I really think that there's a lot of heart into this dub, and that's a big part of why I liked it. The songs are, bar none, some of the best dubbed anime songs ever put out. Hard bar to clear, knowing that, the original composers came on, but whatever. I would honestly advise you to watch it as soon as you can.
Fair enough.
Bella's on HBO Max now, y'all. You don't even have to buy a Blu-ray. You can stream
Hurry
this
before
shit.
HBO Max has its inevitable heat death.
We'll get to... Oh god, we could... Again, the other bonus Patreon episode is... God, what's going
Hey
on with
Gigi,
HBO
do you
Max
know
and
we're
their
not
parent
in
company?
fandoms? We're in genre-doms.
I don't, whatever. Look, I also am sub to Discovery Plus, so if it takes me down like $6.99 less a month, like I'm okay with whatever they say. Just
Gigi,
give me
you're not allowed-
my
Gigi, you're not
hours
allowed
and
to like
hours of
scripted
cooking
content.
shows. What?
You're not allowed to like anything with a script, and you know what has a script? Gossip Girl.
They can cancel the new one though. That's fine. Then I don't really
Gossip
care.
Girl is for men, according to the CEO of HBO Max.
I mean, have you seen how little clothing Blake Lively wears in Gossip Girl? They might not be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I was just looking up my rating on Mal for this, and I couldn't remember if I rated it a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, and it was a 10 out of 10. I obviously...
Wow.
Not a lot of things get a 10 out of 10 for me. Like, I don't even think Diabolic Lovers got a 10 out of 10.
No offense, I love you, Gigi, but if that got a 10 out of 10, I'm going to have concerns.
Like, so...
We are going... Me and other Megan are gonna do an intervention.
All the Megans of the world will get to...
No, it's just gonna be me and Brainchild.
Well, this movie
Anyways.
struck a very emotional chord with me, and the dub helped that, mostly, again, because of the music and the singing, but again, that's part of the dub, so, I would, even though it is, like, kind of predictable in the Beauty and the Beast adaptation kind of sense, I'm also a whore for fairy tale retellings. So this was pretty much the most perfect VTuber movie I've ever seen, except for possibly One Piece film Red, which I will wait to make my judgments about.
She's
until...
not a VTuber, she's just an idol!
No. She a VTuber in real life. Yeah,
Oh,
she
really?
has VTuber shit on the One Piece YouTube channel. Like they're making
I guess
her
you can
out
count
to
that.
be like a VTuber. Like when she performed at the One Piece anniversary thing, it was Hatsune Miku shit. It wasn't the
I mean-
singer. It was the singer doing a VTuber of Uda, who Uda.
I really should get more into VTubers.
No.
I mean, it feels like it's been a collective good for
So-
just the ability for people to perform without needing to.
So
do it
small
live.
tangent is that I think I'm gonna be a VTuber and I'm just gonna be a circus ringmaster and host Gigi's Hot Boy Circus. So whenever I get $3,000, to get rigging and nice art made, like that will be my VTuber persona. We have decided
Another
that.
reason why furries and VTubers are the same.
See,
I'm just saying here, like, okay, so is it just the fact that VTubers and furries
Let's-
have
no,
a
I will do
persona
this
that looks
after the
different
call.
from their? I mean, again, we will have this discussion later, but again, I don't know if I am a furry or not, but I know I've dealt with the culture a whole lot, and so you making that claim is making me rethink my life altogether.
anyway, I love
mean,
Belle.
really-
It's my favorite Hosoda movie. Everybody should go watch it. And
Wow.
I would really like to cosplay in that flower dress one day.
Hell yeah.
And I still love Chase Crawford, even though I didn't care for him in this movie.
Gotta save face with Chase Crawford.
Chase, if you ever listen to this, know that I love you and that Nate Archibald is the best himbo in the entire world. Thank you. Good night, my sweet prince.
What about Miami, Jacksonville?
What?
Nothing. Anyway, Noah.
Nah, there's
Jason
thank you. Let me
Mendoza.
take this for just a second. So I have many, many, many issues with this movie, and I am kind of jealous that I didn't get the emotional impact out of it that Megan and Gigi did, and I have had the same problem for now the last 3 Mamoru Hosoda films. His career has now been divided in 2. There is Wolf Children, The Girl Who Left Through Time, and Summer Wars, all 3 of which were written not by Hosoda himself, but by God, I'm sorry, I'm gonna.
Old
get
Children
this
is
right here.
not as good
so-
as people make it out to be. I'm just
I've never
saying.
seen it. I've only seen Summer
So-
Wars and this.
So, his screenwriter for those 3 movies was Satoku Okudura, who hasn't really gone on to do very much on her own that was nearly as successful as those. But then Hosoda decided to write Boy and the Beast, Mirai, and Belle all by himself. And when you give someone that much freedom, especially animators, they tend to have a lot of great ideas that don't get turned into an adequate movie. I'm sorry. I
Listen,
feel
man,
like Belle had
Daisuke
a lot of
Ishiwatari
ideas-
is
No,
everything
this-
for Guilty Gear, and he's made a successful game. I trust the process.
I'm sure you do, but I've seen enough Don Bluth adaptations and Ralph Bakshi adaptations and Mamoru Hosoda adaptations where if you let the director be the writer, they will have a lot of great ideas that don't get blended into a good movie very well. This movie had enough ideas that could have been a TV show. Like, I really felt like I was watching the truncated version of a 13-episode TV show. And
I've
that's
seen 13
not
episode
reflective
TV
of
shows
the-
with worse writing than this.
Well, of course, obviously, but that's a low bar to clear. That's a really low bar to clear. My point is that this dub did the source material very well. Everyone here, even the ones who didn't have the most standout performance because they're not voice actors who are just filling a trope in this movie, are still enough of a flavor to give this movie the grandiosity that it definitely deserves. And you can definitely tell that the music was with the Japanese producers. That's something that I really do appreciate. Not all dub singing is good. We've heard some very bad dub singing in our lifetimes. Less so in this decade. I think this decade we've gotten to the point where if you're going to dub music from Japanese to English, you're going to put in the effort to make it sound good. Thank the holy gods. So that brings us to the end of this discussion, and I'm just glad that Megan and Gigi, that you guys really like this movie, because honestly, there is a lot here to enjoy. Thank you for appreciating that. And now the question has to be asked, where can you watch this movie? Well, Gigi already answered it for us. It is now, as of like just a couple days ago, is on HBO Max. So you can buy that subscription and fuel more bad decisions like canceling the Batgirl movie.
And allowing
but approving-
the Flash to still happen.
But I was about to say, but approving the Flash to continue to function. That's a can of worms that doesn't need us to thrash on anymore. But that's where you can watch Belle. You can also buy it on home video. Megan was actually very nice enough to send me a copy of it on Blu-ray and DVD. That Blu-ray is the standard release from G-Kids, because as of the time of this recording, the special edition release of this movie has not been made available. I think by the time you hear this,
It
will be,
will,
like,
and I
coming
think it's out
next
in the
week.
UK. There's also a steelbook version, which I have, which is exclusive to Target, and I don't know if it's sold out.
I'm gonna get the big.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I think, if I didn't already have a copy of it, I'd probably encourage people to go get the big LE that's coming
You
out.
can always
That
just give
one's
mine
gonna have a
away.
CD.
I'm not going to be offended.
No, I will love it. I'm keeping it. It's so shiny, and I want to keep it like that.
Okay.
It's awesome. I'm more for the special features. Not. I think that LE is coming with like a nice shiny box and the CD as well.
That's a good
So
special
if you're more into the music side,
Um,
and yeah, so that's where you can watch
The music's
that.
also on Spotify if you just want to listen to the soundtrack.
But you can't put Spotify on your shelf in a jewel
But I
case.
can play it in my car.
okay.
Yes, you can. But for us poor people who are still using cassette players, we still need to have the physical
Shut
CDs.
up.
Oh, you laugh, but until I got a new car, I still had a cassette player in my old car. Sorry, I'm stalling here. Because we want to tell you people about the Dub Talk podcast. Yes, this podcast is a place where hopefully you have hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. We release new episodes every Friday. We've been doing so for like almost 6 years now. So obviously we know what we're doing. We're professionals. We also have audio-only feeds like Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Play, all those fun audio-only feeds. Check us out there if you don't want to watch the video version. But we also have a Patreon. Yes, if we could not make this any clearer, we are not able to do this alone. We are reliant upon not just the support, but also the financial contributions of those on Patreon. And I want to give a special shout out to the individuals who make that possible. Yes, these are the people who donated at our $5 tier, and we want to give you guys a big shout out. Big thank you to Nico Robin, but with Yowie hands, Michelle Travis, Victor May Baroda, and of course, Megan's mom and dad.
Yay.
I know you can hear me in the background.
Oh, no, they're asleep.
Oh, well, go wake them up.
No.
No, don't do that. No, don't do that. But we also want to give an even bigger shout out to our $10 patrons. These are the folks who contribute just a little bit more and get the episodes early, along with Patreon exclusive options and the ability to vote, to put in their option for a raffle to make us review what they want us to review. We've done some crazy Patreon requests, so maybe you could make the next crazy Patreon request. Crazy requests that have been made by people like Marissa Lenti. Thank you so much, Marissa. Jacob Wilson. I hope you enjoyed that Golden Boy episode. Jared Hawkins. Thank you so much, Jared. Otaku Anthony. Keep rocking on, rocking on. Carly Lesticow. Again, we're going to try to do the best episodes possible for Carly. Also do the best for Anthony Brown. Thank you, Anthony. And finally, to one Crimson Echidna, who we know is watching us in the Discord chat right now. Hi,
Hi,
Crimson.
Josh.
So that is us. Quickly to wrap this up here, Megan, what do you do when you are not
I
singing in a virtual world?
Shitpost. I
That's
shitpost on
great.
Twitter at QueenEra2. You can also, I hang out in the Funchy Roll Discord and the Anime Dubs Discord. I stream every so often. And when I'm not, I'm probably playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 right now. Please don't spoil me. I will find you.
I mean, by the time this episode goes up, I'm assuming you'll be further into it than...
Absolutely
Spoiled.
fucking not. Do you understand that
was-
my file for 2 is almost 300 hours long? And that was just the base game?
Okay, I clearly don't know how long video games last.
It's a
these days. I thought
JRPG,
they
Noah.
lasted, like-
Assume it's at least 200 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. That was great thinking. Thanks, Gigi. So what do you do around the world,
Not
Gigi?
much. I'm trying to erase myself. No, I'm just kidding. I have a YouTube channel that I don't post videos on. I have a Twitter where I basically talk about how tired I am because I have a lot happening in my world right now. You can follow me at Anime Palooza. I also have a Pop Shop Live, which I have to revive, and I hate it when everything is getting revived. But we'll just see what happens. But yeah, if you want to talk about some mobile games, and hear about my gacha luck, you can come find me on Twitter.
I will never get that obsession. Sorry. I'm not a gambling person,
I
personally.
need to go to the casino because I just watched Kakegurui.
Oh, I gotta watch the next season. Yeah, as of we recording this, Kakegurui Twins just dropped a couple days ago. My name is Noah Clue, and you can follow me on Twitter at Noah Clue, where I do not talk about gacha games or the 5 million hour RPGs out there, because I don't know how video games work. I'm an animation person, so if it's anything to do with the world of animation, the media, the news about it going on, I'm most likely discussing it there. I just recently watched the animatic for the Sony Popeye movie that got leaked online, and it was very brief too, because almost as soon as it went online, because somebody leaked it, DMCA notices started popping up all over the place, which is a real shame because it was a really good animatic. It was fully voice acted, fully sound edited with the images. It would have been a really good movie. I think it would have been much, much better than the Emoji Movie. So hunt that down if you can find it. And our concert has come to an end, and the beast has been tamed at last, so we can finally go to rest.
Encore, encore, encore.
No! This file's already 2.5 hours long.
Cool. Let's all go to bed because we're old now.
Joke's on you, I'm going to bed at 3 in the morning. My favorite streamer's on tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
I gotta work tomorrow.
So do I, suckers!
That's what caffeine and Adderall is for.
No, that's what Mountain Dew is for.
I said caffeine.
Fair.
Anyways, otaku on, aloha, and what was Belle's catchphrase? Did she really have a catchphrase? She didn't really have one, did she? Just
Love your faces.
sing on. Fill the world with silly love songs.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Jewels in a dream. The sky breathes life.
It's just Beauty and the Beast. Literally.
It's part Beauty and the Beast. By the way, Gigi, you need to get in on this. Jennifer's been watching every Beauty and the Beast adaptation she can find, like the cheap ones on like free television stuff. And I told her, you need to start a podcast where you like talk about every adaptation. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, tell them about.
There's one that's really dirty. Have you gotten to that one yet?
Jen, have you gotten to the dirty Beauty and the Beast adaptation? I don't. Yeah, she's only watched the clean ones. Like, what was the one you watched?
It traumatized me. It was hard to find. I'll see if I could find it.
The guy with acromegaly.
The one from the 90s, right?
Yep.
And it's got Belle's dad is like a painter,
And she's a painter too. Yeah.
and she's a painter.
Well, no, her art is more
God.
photographs, but she does a painting.
Right.
I don't remember this at all. I gotta find the dirty one, but literally put your children to bed before you watch it, because even I was traumatized, and I don't get traumatized easily.
And then what was the